you're going into games thinking, well, there's not many people in this league that we shouldn't go toe-to-toe with, whereas maybe last year you're thinking, tell you what, if we nick a draw or, you know, lose 1-0, it's not the end of the world, whereas, you know, we want to be the team that people are going, I wouldn't want to go there and play, you know. So again, it's a different mentality, but it's one that we relish and we look forward to. Cheers.
There you go, that was the Barrow forward Innes Cameron there speaking to me on Wednesday at the club's training ground. Very warm welcome to Holker Street, match day 2 of the National League season. Barrow taking on Hornchurch this afternoon, the newcomers to the National League, but coming into the game very much buoyed on the back of last week's 3-0 victory against Kidderminster. Barrow looking to bounce back from their own setback a week ago with that 2-0 defeat against Hartlepool. They've made 2 changes from the side that's lost that game. Xavier Benjamin comes in for his first start for the club following his summer arrival. Ben Jackson, the other one to come into the starting 11, dropping out of the 11 for Barrow are Rakeem Harper and Kennedy Didgie. So for Barrow it's a 3-4-3 formation. They've got Ben Winterbottom in goal, the back 3 of Xavier Benjamin, Paul Callanbay and Danny Amos. Then it's Marcel Oakley, MJ Williams, Scott Smith and Ben Jackson making up the 4 in the middle. George Walker, Innes Cameron and Ollie Crankshaw as the 3 up top. On the bench for Barrow, Ken Didgie, Katia Kiarte, Rakeem Harper, Isaac Marriott, Danny Rose, Ben Whitfield and Thierry Lati Fairweather makes his first appearance into a matchday squad following of course his arrival just a week ago from Halifax. For Hornchurch, they've made one change from that victory a week ago. Miles Weston comes in the place of Mackay Welch, who drops out of the squad in its entirety. So it's Arthur Astor in goal, the back 4 of Joe Kizzy, Jack Baldwin, Ryan Innes and Sam Ling. Tom Raitt and Jack Powell as the 2 in front of them, with Miles Weston, Nathan Ferguson and Henry Sandat in behind Henry Hearn. On the bench, Rhys Byrne, Will Greenidge, Josh Walker, Charlie Pegram, Asher Yearwood, Frankie Edwards and Bobby Kelman. The referee today is Andrew Miller, someone that very much Barrow supporters will be looking forward to seeing this afternoon, because the last time he was at Holker Street it marked the end of Andy Wing's tenure as manager at the club in the 3-0 defeat against Tranmere, where, well, it's safe to say there was a matter of controversy in the game.
Yeah, there's a few decisions that were topic of conversation, weren't there, Adam? Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs today, but ready to go now. Hornchurch bringing the momentum, Barrow trying to bounce back. Let's see how the first 15 minutes settle.
It is going to be the visitors, Hornchurch, who will be getting us underway, attacking towards the Holker Street end of the ground in the first half. So from right to left as the ball goes back and it's underway, lifted long towards the Barrow half, headed away by Paul Callanbay. Gets up again with the header, but it's flicked straight into an advanced position for Henry Hearn to dash onto, but it's good goalkeeping there from Ben Winterbottom.
Yeah, great starting position from Ben Winterbottom. Anticipated that ball getting flicked through. Did well, so now Barrow need to settle, try and get some territory up at this end of the field now.
One more forward, flicked on by Innes Cameron, looking for the runner George Walker on this right hand side, but straight away that imposing figure of Jack Baldwin just blocking his route towards the ball, and it bowls out of play, and it will be a goal kick to Hornchurch. It's going to be that interesting test, isn't it, for the Barrow front 3. When you look at that back 4 for Hornchurch, there is a lot of physicality in there.
Yeah, it's similar to how we set up, isn't it, Adam, with that physicality right through the team, really. We've got our, Callum Bay, Amos, quite a big lad, MJ Williams in the middle of midfield. Cameron's no short person, is he? He's going to be strong and try and give them some difficult occasions to deal with. So it's going to be interesting how it sets out. We just need to get that support up to Cameron as much as we can.
Nasta sends it forward. Barrow managed to wrestle it away, but trying to break down the left hand side, it's blocked. Does bobble out for a throw into Barrow, which Danny Amos is going to take in the left back position. Throws it down the line looking for Ben Jackson, but it's comfortably cleared. Callanbay gets up, flicks off the back of the head of Innes Cameron, ricochets out to Ben Jackson on the left, delivers the ball into the box. George Walker gets behind it, couldn't get the shot away, just bobbles away from him, kept alive by Crankshaw. And now Marcel Oakley on this right hand side. Inside it goes to MJ Williams, knocks it across to the left for Danny Amos. Back out to Ben Jackson. It really was a teasing delivery from the Barrow wing back Eventually it's blocked down to play for a Barrow throw.
It was excellent delivery, but excellent work rate to get into the box from Walker. Just nearly got a toe on the end of it, didn't he? But if you just looked how we set up, Hornchurch only left one up top, so Barrow could have the two centre halves marking him, and MJ Williams dropped in to give us that little insurance triangle, you could say. So it gave us numbers in the final third to keep the momentum of the attack.
Ball lifted forward again by Barrow. Comes to Innes Cameron on the edge. It's a very hapless shot in the end from Innes Cameron. He goes down a play, and it is going to be a goal kick to Hornchurch.
Yeah, responded well to that first Hornchurch attack, haven't they, Barrow? Got a little bit of territory there. Two opportunities, you could say. I know Innes Cameron's taken that on from distance, but at least he's got into a shooting position and took it on. So hopefully we can keep this momentum going.
Third minute here at Holker Street. Still 0-0 the scoreline. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport on DAB+, online via the BBC Sport website, and of course courtesy of the cameras on DAZN. Innes Cameron heads the ball down. George Walker again trying to get in behind the red of Hornchurch. It's a good blocking challenge. Cleared out of play for a Barrow throw deep inside the Hornchurch half on this right hand side, which Marcel Oakley is going to be the man to take. Just inches away from the corner flag. Plenty of bodies forward for Barrow for Oakley to aim for here, just looking for the right option around him. It's thrown short to Scott Smith, comes back to Marcel Oakley, he's clipped, goes down, and Barrow get a free kick out wide on this right hand side.
Yeah, settling well now, trying to get that territory, keep that pressure in the final third, making it difficult for Hornchurch to get out, which is what we said before the game we wanted to see in the first 15 minutes. First set piece opportunity now, let's see if we can make the most of it. It's
going to be Scott Smith that is going to be the man to take it here for Barrow on this right hand side, and again they've got the bodies inside the penalty area to aim for. Hornchurch have got everybody back. Strong 9 men inside the penalty area, all wearing red. They've got the one-man wall. Scott Smith gets the indication to take it, swings the ball in towards the near post. It's cleared, doesn't quite drop for Danny Amos on the edge of the area. Knocked back into the feet of Marcel Oakley. Back outside it goes to Scott Smith on this right hand side. Down the line for George Walker. Space for him to carry. Tried to roll it forward for Oakley on the overlap, but it's blocked. Comes back inside. Now it's back with MJ Williams. Plays a 1-2 with Crankshaw. Now across it goes to Danny Amos. Lifts it forward. George Walker again gets in behind, but ball runs away from him. It's time to play for a goal kick.
Yeah, Hornchurch probably just trying to settle into this, survive first 15 minutes, be difficult to break down, which they are, to be fair. They're getting narrow and compact and forcing Barrow into wide areas. Walker trying to make that run from out to in there, and pass was just a little too hard. But again, promising signs from Barrow, but Hornchurch are surviving, and no doubt they'll grow into this game.
Goal kick to be taken again here by Arthur Nasta. 5 minutes gone in this first half, still 0-0 the scoreline. Clearance forward by the Hornchurch keeper. Benjamin gets behind it, heads the ball on. Innes Cameron flicks it further, and now George Walker again trying to get in behind. He's done well, Walker. It's come out to Ben Jackson now on this left hand side. He lets it run, and Barrow get themselves a corner in the 6th minute.
Yeah, I think Hornchurch will be disappointed there. It was an unopposed header for Benjamin, wasn't it? And it got Barrow straight back on the front foot because they landed on the second ball as well, and have now created an opportunity from a corner.
Which Scott Smith comes across to gather up the ball. He's got Danny Amos there to play it to, and it is played short to Danny Amos. Gets it under control, low ball back into the middle, ricochets out to the edge. Marcel Oakley gets his shot behind, but can't get it on target. It's over the bar and out for the goal kick.
It just shows you how important those second phases are, doesn't it, Adam, where the delivery into the box from Amos took the deflection, but we're at the edge of the box ready to pick up anything that comes out, and in that second phase, quick touch from Oakley, quick shot, just got a little bit underneath it. Hornchurch goal kick now. So what Hornchurch will want is some more challenge from here now. Goalkeepers try to slow it down to stop that momentum, but they'll need to either win this first challenge or pick up the seconds from it to be able to build a little momentum.
It's certainly refreshing from last week, isn't it, though? Just seeing that front footedness again here from Barrow. The referee does the countdown for the Hornchurch goalkeeper Arthur Nasta, who clears it forward. Barrow again flick it into the Hornchurch half, and it comes off the head of a man in red, and Barrow get the ball back again. George Walker does well. Now Ollie Crankshaw carries it down this right hand side here for Barrow, looking for options around him. Oakley makes a run on the overlap. It's a great delivery into the box. In the end, Arthur Nasta gets it, parries it behind. Innes Cameron was challenging him. Nasta wanted a free kick. Referee says no. Barrow corner.
just witnessing the importance of winning those second balls here, Adam. I know football, we all like to watch pretty football with the ball getting down, passed on the floor into threatening areas, but we're just seeing a great example of combating for that first contact, but picking up the seconds and getting your territory. Barrow got another good opportunity from a corner again,
which is going to be taken here by Scott Smith, and again he plays it short to Danny Amos on that left hand side. It's a high delivery this time. Naster's parried it, comes out to Crankshaw, couldn't get the shot away, carries it into the penalty area instead, looking for options around him. Deep ball into the box, and in the end it's out of play and it goes for a goal kick.
Yeah, he just got caught in two minds there because of the way the ball was bouncing, I think. Wanted to take it on the half volley, but it just bounced a little bit too high, so took his touch, which killed the momentum of his approach a little bit, and then the delivery was a bit disappointing. But what Barrow need now is, if they're going to have this territory and have this domination of the position on the field, they're going to have to take an opportunity, because how many times last season did we see this, where Barrow create opportunities and then late in the game they're punished?
Early goal in the games in the National League this afternoon. It's Worthing on the back of that victory at Brunton Park a week ago. They lead 1-0 against Forest Green in their first home game at this level. Certainly showing again another of the sides, like we've been saying about Hornchurch, that are coming into this division, and they're not coming here just to enjoy their stay, are they? They're really looking to have an impact on this league.
Yeah, probably the first occasion there, that they picked up the second ball, and the forward pass was a little bit disappointing, went straight through to Winterbottom.
Barrow come forward, MJ Williams lifts it into the box, headed away by Joe Kizik, drops to Innes Cameron, teasing ball into the middle, but again it's cleared away. Picked up by Xavier Benjamin just in front of the halfway line, knocks it into the feet of MJ Williams. Now up to Danny Amos. Now Ben Jackson, right on that left-hand touchline. 9th minute here at Holker Street, tries to deliver, headed away, doesn't quite drop for Ben Jackson, and Hornchurch again can clear, and it's going to be picked up by Henry Sander on that left hand side. Gets into the middle, and it's a good delivery forward here by Tom Ray, and it's now Henry Hearn, gets to the edge of the penalty area, gets it inside the box. Xavier Benjamin does well across him, does well to play it off Henry Hearn, and it's behind, and it goes for a goal kick to Barrow.
Yeah, first little threat in there from Hornchurch, got into a good area, isolated Benjamin 1v1, tried to take him on, tried to get the shot off. Unfortunate deflection, it went out for a goal kick for Barrow, but they're the signs where we've got to keep the concentration from a defensive unit perspective, where we've had that little bit of domination territory wise, just got to stay switched on, because Hornchurch will break quite quickly.
10th minute here, ball sent forward by Barrow, and it's Innes Cameron again, who gets up with the header, just drops out of play, and it will go for a throw-in to Hornchurch. It was rather interesting, wasn't it, looking at the way Hornchurch was set up there defensively. Miles Weston was tucked all the way back into a right back position, and it's like they've gone to a very much back five, Hornchurch.
Yeah, probably expecting Barrow to play that back three as well, weren't they? So just maybe trying to match up a little bit early doors in the game and see how they can then get a foothold and progress from there. A bit soft that for me, but we'll see. But what they don't want is Hearn to end up being too isolated for too long, so I'm sure as the game progresses they'll start to get creep up the pitch a little bit to get that support to him. 10
minutes gone, they'll know the scoreline as Ben Winterbottom knocks it out to Danny Amos. Forward it goes for Crankshaw, back to Amos, plays a 1-2 with his captain MJ Williams. Now it's back with MJ Williams. Marcel Oakley was just pointing where he wanted it there, and it goes back to Paul Callenbailly, now across to Xavier Benjamin. Eventually comes out to this right hand side. George Walker couldn't get the ball under control. Now Hornchurch will come forward. No foul given there from the challenge from Xavier Benjamin. Ball goes forward and it's cleared away by Jack Baldwin into the middle for Crankshaw. Now Williams, back outside it goes again to Danny Amos. Now Crankshaw looking for that opportunity to get forward, teasing out to Ben Jackson on this left hand side, up against Miles Weston, tries to cross. It's a good block by the experienced campaigner, and it goes out for a Barrow throw deep in the Hornchurch half on this left hand side. 12th minute, the first home game of the campaign for Barrow in the National League. As Danny Amos throws it back into the feet of MJ Williams. Just looking for support around him, there wasn't much there, has to go back to Paul Callenbailly, and then ultimately he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper in Ben Winterbottom.
And then Hornchurch will just pick up that 5-4-1 formation now and make it difficult to break them down through the middle. So Barrow need to move the ball quickly. When they're in this phase of controlled possession, need to move it quickly to move the Hornchurch players around and create some space in areas of the pitch they can threaten, where I think Hornchurch will be comfortable now just allowing Barrow's defensive unit to hold on to the ball and not progress very far up the pitch.
Sutton have gone 1-0 up against Altrincham elsewhere. Tamworth 1, AFC Fylde 0 is another of the latest scores in the National League this afternoon. Still 0-0 here, still 0-0 of course in our FM commentary with Carlisle United on the road at Yeovil. This ball goes forward again from Barrow and it's flicked on, but it just rolls comfortably into the hands of Arthur Nasta.
Yeah, probably exactly what Hornchurch are looking to do, force Barrow into those long central balls that they can quite easily overhit.
Ball flicked on there by Henry Hearn. Sandat gets in behind there, and it's the first time that Barrow missed time to challenge at the back. And it's Xavier Benjamin bringing Sandat down, and it will be a free kick in a good position here for the visitors in Hornchurch.
Yeah, just another example of how important picking up those second balls in. So the first one's direct, Hearn challenges, gets good contact on it, drops to a Hornchurch player. Barrow mistimed their challenge, free kick in a dangerous area.
13th minute. This is the first bit of bother, you could say, for Barrow this afternoon. Jack Powell stood over it, as is his captain Tom Raitt, the centre of that midfield for Hornchurch. Plenty of options inside the middle as well. Barrow have left George Walker forward for that quick counter-attack that they'll hope for. Ball the whistle from Andrew Miller. It's Jack Powell who hits it low, and it's well watched and well gathered up by Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal.
I think he just caught the top of the ball a little bit there, didn't he? You could see what he was trying to do, keep it low either for the wall to jump or bend it round the wall, so that's impeding Winterbottom's sight, but didn't quite catch it right.
Barrow crossfield ball out to Marcel Oakley, who's fouled by Henry Sandat, and it will be a free kick to Barrow, which is taken quickly into the feet of MJ Williams. 14th minute here. Out to Danny Amos on that left-hand side, goes down to Ben Jackson, into the middle it goes for Innes Cameron. Barrow trying to hook it forward. Crankshaw commits well there against the advanced Joe Kizzy, who dived into a challenge on the edge of his own penalty area, but again it's cleared away well by Hornchurch. Into the middle for Tom Raitt, flicks it on, and Callum Bailey will bring it down on his chest, lifts the ball forward, but there's no one there in a black and white shirt. It'll just go out of play, and it will be a throw-in to the visitors. Certainly lively over in that away stand over on the far side. Been told around 70 in terms of tickets sold, but the entire media team are over there, and there's even members of the travelling dignitaries of the directors that are over there enjoying themselves.
It's a great effort, because it's not the easiest place to get to, Barrow, is it? I know, come off the motorway, you've still got another 45 minutes to an hour trip.
Here come Hornchurch now, carrying the ball forward. It's a good direct run from Nathan Ferguson. Back out to the right hand side, and Miles Weston looking to try and get around Ben Jackson, who stood his ground well, does well to block the initial cross. Comes back to Weston, it's a great delivery, and Sandat attacks it, but the offside flag is up and it won't count. Ben Winterbottom couldn't get near to it. It was a great header from Sandat, a great delivery from Weston, but the offside flag comes to Barrow's aid, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that again, to see where his start position was when the contact was made on the ball for the cross to come in, because his movement looked excellent. He looked to get across the back of Benjamin, so Benjamin couldn't see him, and as he looks around to find him, he then runs across the front of him. Just mistimed it. If it was offside, difficult for us to see at our angle.
You'll be able to see it very shortly. I've got the screen in front of me, so we'll be able to see it again very, very soon. Barrow surviving there. Difficult one to tell, isn't it, from the courtesy of the cameras, but either way, Barrow surviving. It is still 0-0 here at Holker Street in the 16th minute.
And that's what we're talking about, the concentration levels, because it's Ferguson who's sacrificing himself a little bit, isn't he, to drop back into that midfield four, as you like, and Hearn's got the job of just trying to make it difficult as he can for the Barrow back four.
Here come Barrow at the other end. Oakley into George Walker, low ball. Scott Smith gets behind it. He got the perfect side of the ball as well, Scott Smith, but he pulls it wide. It's out of play for a goal kick.
Excellent from George Walker. Smith just opens his foot up a little bit too much, probably thinking too much to try and get the ball into that far corner. If he gets good solid contact on it with his foot a slightly bit more closed, he probably hits the target and could score. Just opens it up a little bit too much there.
Let's tell him it's Hornchurch who are surviving. Still 0-0. 17th minute here at Holker Street. National League action. match day 2 of the season, as Arthur Nasser again sends the ball forward into the Barrow half. MJ Williams gets up with a header, bobbles through to Scott Smith, looking for Crankshaw, but it's blocked by Joe Kizzy. He's looking for the run of Henry Hearn with the ball forward. Callum Bailey gets across to him. Hearn keeping him marshalled. Drops to Danny Amos, and Barrow can get it towards the halfway line. Crankshaw wins the second ball, but again it's Hornchurch who drown him out, and they have it in possession with Joe Kizzy on that right hand side. Lifts the ball forward, runs towards the touchline. Barrow managed to clear through Danny Amos. Ben Jackson moves out to Nathan Ferguson, and now it's Miles Weston again with a couple of step overs over on that right hand side. Good block by Danny Amos. Ben Jackson trying to keep it in play, couldn't. And it goes behind for a Hornchurch corner.
Yeah, and this will be a good test, won't it, of that physicality now with Innes going up top to get forward for the corner. Like to see Hornchurch there. When they win that ball, the first thought is to get it forward, and Hearn's doing a great job. He's doing a lot of work that goes unnoticed, making it difficult for the Barrow defensive unit, and when it sticks he can then link players in to join the attack, and that's what they did really well there leading to this corner.
19th minute here at Holker Street. Hornchurch for the corner on that right hand side. They've got plenty of bodies inside the penalty area to aim for. Barrow have left 4 men forward here for this corner. Scott Smith slowly starting to make a move back. It's whipped into the box. It's a free header on goal there by Ryan Innes, and thankfully he didn't get good enough contact on it, and it drops wide for a goal kick, but that should have been 1-0 to Hornchurch.
It should have been as well. I think it was Hearn as well who was doing a brilliant job on blocking Winterbottom. He wasn't pushing, he literally just stood in front of him making it hard, and then no one picks up the run of Innes towards the back post. It looks like that train, there was a few blockers in that train for him to peel off, and he probably should do a lot better there.
Yeah, Barrow surviving again, still 0-0. Benjamin out to Oakley on this right hand side. Back inside it goes to MJ Williams. Crossfield ball from him, but again it just doesn't have the direction on it. Nathan Ferguson holds on to the ball too long though, and Crankshaw flicks it into Ben Jackson. Now Scott Smith carries the ball forward, couldn't get around his man though, and it's easily blocked by Jack Baldwin, and he'll send the ball forward here for Henry Hearn, who's got the pace to get behind Callum Bay. Callum Bay's done well to get back with him. Hearn still going with it. Callum Bay gets the challenge and goes out of play for a throw into Hornchurch.
Yeah, excellent outlet, isn't he, Henry Hearn? Willing to run those channels and get Callum Bay into positions he doesn't want to be in. And leading up to the Scott Smith break, it was the first time Hornchurch won the ball back and didn't go forward straight away. They tried to just link the play and go, and Barrow's press won it. And decision making from Scott Smith a little bit too slow on the chop inside. But then a great quick break after that, leading to a throw in a dangerous area.
Deep inside the Barrow half, over on that right hand side in the 20th minute here. It's a long throw into the penalty area, headed away by Callum Bailey. Doesn't drop to a black and white shirt though, and it's Hornchurch again who'll deliver into the box. Callum Bailey gets there with the header, and a free kick is given anyway for a foul on Callum Bailey.
Yeah, just see how momentum shifted, hasn't it? Hornchurch enjoying a little bit of territory now, and that's how the game's probably going to pan out. They seem very happy when Barrow have got control possession to drop into that 4-5-1 and say to Barrow, right, come on, break us down, and then they jump on any mistake Barrow make and break quickly. Yeovil
1, Carlisle 0 in our FM commentary. 0-0 the scoreline here in the 21st minute. Callum Bay out to Danny Amos, lifts the ball forward, looking for the run of Crankshaw, but again it's just too deep, and it's safely into the hands of Arthur Nasser in the Hornchurch goal. Workington trailing by a goal to 0 in the MPL Premier against Guiseley. Proving to be a difficult start to the season for Billy Barr's men. Barrow send the ball forward, but it's intercepted. Xavier Benjamin gets there, and now George Walker, and he's got space to carry it here. George Walker with pace gets into the penalty area for Barrow. It's a great challenge though at the back from Hornchurch. Cleared out of play, and it will be a Barrow throw.
It's Baldwin, I think, really well timed challenge, but that's what we want to see from George Walker. Just keep driving at him, keep running at the defenders, because as we've said before, it only takes one opportunity to get past that defender and create something.
Smith, back it goes to MJ Williams on the halfway line, back to Scott Smith again. Now MJ Williams once more pushing forward, the Barrow captain delivered it low into the box, but again it's cut out by Ryan Innes this time. Clears out to this right hand side. Marcel Oakley trying to keep it alive, but again Hornchurch can clear. MJ Williams will let it go out of play for a Barrow throw, which he takes. Back it goes to Xavier Benjamin. 22nd minute here. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport. Still 0-0 the scoreline. Match day 2 of the National League campaign. Hornchurch have had the ball in the back of the Barrow net, only for it to be disallowed for offside. Barrow bring it forward again with Xavier Benjamin, just looking for options around him. Short ball to Scott Smith, back to Benjamin, back inside it goes to Callum Bailey. Just sensing a little bit of frustration coming from the crowd at the minute as Danny Amos lifts the ball into the box. Again, it's cleared away. Smith gets up with the header. Innes Cameron trying to unsettle the back line for Hornchurch. Cleared, and then it ricochets off Danny Amos, and it goes out of play for a throw-in to Hornchurch right by the corner flag.
Yeah, frustrations are coming because every time a Barrow player gets the ball and gets his head up to play forward, he's either seeing the back or the side of a teammate's shirt. So what Barrow need to do, because Hornchurch have got that back 5 and the 4 in front, they're cutting off them passing lines, so they need to try and find, it might mean Innes Cameron needs to drop into the little spaces between the back 5 and the midfield 4 to try and get a penetrative pass into his feet, and then he can link with runners, but we're not seeing that enough, so then Barrow are forcing the longer passes or being too slow in possession.
Cleared it forward again, looking for Innes Cameron, but it's well marshalled by Jack Baldwin. Allows the ball to run past him, goes on a play for a goal kick to Hornchurch. 23 minutes gone in the first half here at Holker Street. Still 0-0 the scoreline after a bright start for Barrow, where they should have maybe found themselves in front when George Walker had that good opportunity presented to him by the Ben Jackson delivery. It is the visitors that have very much grown more into the game, you'd say, in this first half.
Yeah, you'd probably say Barrow have had 2 really great opportunities, one the one you've mentioned there from Walker, and then another one from Scott Smith, and then Hornchurch have had the ball in the net with some clever movement, but unfortunately it was offside. Hornchurch are settling really more into the game now, which we knew would happen. They just needed to weather that first 15 minutes.
It's Ben Winterbottom rolls the ball out over arm, and Marcel Oakley will get on the front foot on this right hand side into George Walker. Back it goes to MJ Williams. Now Scott Smith takes a touch there, but it's seized upon by Jack Powell. And now it is Hornchurch coming forward, and then a foul off the ball by MJ Williams on Henry Sandat, and it will be a free kick for the visitors.
So it's unfortunate with Scott Smith's first touch there, because as we were saying before, we were talking about Cameron dropping into that little pocket of space between the 2 units. Scott Smith managed to get himself in there, and we got the pass through to his feet, and his touch just let him down, so it killed the momentum of the attack.
Southend have taken the lead elsewhere in the National League against Scunthorpe, so 1-0 the scoreline there. 25th minute here at Holker Street. Still 0-0 the scoreline. It's going to be a free kick to be taken by the Hornchurch keeper Arthur Nastor. Lifts a long ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. It's flicked on by Hearn, but Barrow can pick up the ball and just clear it towards the halfway line where it bobbles out of play. It will be a Hornchurch throw just inside the Barrow half on this left hand side, which Sam Ling is going to take. So one of the many players in this Hornchurch side with Football League experience. Throwing goes forward, flicked on by Sandat, but Barrow can get the ball back again, and it's back with Ben Winterbottom, who sends it long out towards the left hand side, but Joe Kizzy gets there, heads it out to Miles Weston on the right, and the experienced campaigner will carry the ball forward against Crankshaw, who trapped back with him. Now Kizzy back out to Weston again. He's already shown the danger that he has with his delivery, and he puts in another good ball. Callum Bailey this time getting behind it, flicked on by Ling. Hearn trying to hold it up, sorry, Sandat it was. Barrow can clear the ball away, touched on by Baldwin, and now it's back with Ryan Innes inside to Joe Kizzy. 26th minute, entering into the 27th. Ball goes forward, brought down by George Walker on the chest. Comes inside though here for Powell, who's got space to carry out onto this left hand side. Marcel Oakley trying to shepherd him out of play. He's done well to force the pass, and George Walker can clear it. Innes Cameron trying to use his physicality there to win possession back, and he wanted the throwing going in his way. The referee says no, and it will be a throw in to the visitors.
Yeah, George Walker just needed a bit of help from Winterbottom in that situation there, just to give him an instruction of what was behind him, because I think he wanted to let the ball run out, but it obviously wasn't, so Winterbottom just needs to give him an away shout or something like that, and then that situation's dealt with a lot better.
27th minute, ball goes forward again from Hornchurch, headed away by Marcel Oakley. Drops out to Ling, who delivers a teasing ball in, but Winterbottom gets there behind it, gathers it up and then sends it forward, looking for Innes Cameron, but it's a towering header from Ryan Innes. Comes to MJ Williams, plays a 1-2 with Danny Amos. Now Williams will carry it towards the halfway line. Short ball into the feet of Ollie Crankshaw, who's dropped deep. Now Xavier Benjamin feeds it out to the right hand side here for Marcel Oakley for Barrow. Back inside to MJ Williams.
You can see Scott Smith now just trying to get in that little pocket between Hornchurch's back five and midfield four to try and cause a little bit of one problem, so it opens up some gaps for somebody else, or two, to try and get the ball zipped into his feet.
It's Marcel Oakley again, gets it under control on this right hand side here for Barrow, just looking for that opening again to come, but it doesn't come. Hornchurch have very much got themselves into a good routine, haven't they? They really have marshalled Barrow well at the minute. Smith back out to Walker on this right hand side, just trying to open Hornchurch up a little bit. Walker gets around Sandat. Sandat tracks back well with him, but Walker still persisting, delivers it into the box. Good delivery, but it's well claimed by Arthur Nastet.
Yeah, just a bit floaty, wasn't it? But that's better from Barrow. So if Hornchurch are cutting off them central passing lanes, it's to get the ball wide quickly and try and isolate 1v1 in those wide areas, which they did a little bit better there. So that's what they need to do a little bit more. You can see now they're just trying to cut off the passes into Cameron, into Crankshaw and Scott Smith. So now get the ball wide, get Oakley on it, get the other wide centre half on it, like they've just done now with Amos.
Good switch ball there by MJ Williams. Danny Amos brings it down on his chest, delivers it into the box. Innes Cameron brings it down under control, feeds it outside to MJ Williams. Back inside it goes to Innes Cameron, takes his shot. It's a good block by Rate, it was. Comes back out to Marcel Oakley. Inside to MJ Williams again. Barrow pressing, looking for the opener. Oakley delivers into the box. It's a slip. Comes to Scott Smith. Just couldn't get a good enough contact on the ball there, Scott Smith. And again, it's cleared away, and then a foul on Danny Amos, resulting in a free kick to Barrow.
Yeah, doing what they did earlier in the game now, Barrow, getting that territory in the attacking third and then keeping them pinned in there, whether that's by keeping the ball and making the move or by winning it back really quickly when they give it away. And that's what they just need to keep doing. Most difficult thing in football is to keep possession of the ball, so they need to keep doing the best, as we explained before. If the central pass isn't on, get it into wide areas, get Hornchurch moving.
Barrow with a free kick. 30th minute here at Holker Street. Danny Amos takes it, swings it into the box. Joe Kizzy gets up with the header, doesn't drop on the edge, brought down by Crankshaw. Back into the box it goes, headed on by Benjamin. MJ Williams attacks it, but just couldn't get a good enough shot on goal, MJ Williams. And probably again, great position, but probably the wrong player to be getting in behind it.
Yeah, and again, it was the ball was in a position where he couldn't quite take it on first time because of the way it bounced and landed. So he's had to try and take a touch, which has obviously given Hornchurch time to get bodies behind it and bodies in front of it. Bodies behind the ball to stop a shot, and it just didn't fall for him. So yeah, but again, it's positive, isn't it? They're getting into really, really good attacking areas now. They just need to try and take one of these opportunities before the break.
Barrow come forward again now here with Xavier Benjamin. 15 minutes left in this first half. Still 0-0 the scoreline. Callum Bailey back out to Danny Amos on that left hand side. Darryl McMahon out on the edge of his technical area, just urging his team on in this first half. Benjamin back out he goes to Callum Bailey, now out to Danny Amos, and closed down well there. Back inside it goes to Callum Bailey, just looking for options around him. Plays the short ball to Xavier Benjamin. Now it comes out to this right hand side for Marcel Oakley. Inside to MJ Williams. Just looking for that bit of movement around him. Has to go back again to Callum Bailey. Doing well to keep possession though, Barrow, keeping it alive. Good ball forward there by Danny Amos. Ben Jackson tees it into the box, but again it just doesn't get beyond the first man. Cleared away, comes back to Callum Bailey, lifts it into the box, but again it's headed away by Ryan Innes. The ball just doesn't drop to a black and white shirt. Eventually Danny Amos will get there. Back out it to Ben Jackson. He's got Crankshaw outside him. Comes to Crankshaw. Couldn't get the delivery in. Comes to MJ Williams. He gets a shot away, MJ Williams. It's over the bar. Out for a goal kick, but again it's refreshing. It's another chance on goal from Barrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said before, Barrow keep trying to get the ball into wide areas. So whether they go up the left hand side, if that gets closed off, if they move it quickly to get back out to this right hand side, you're then going to start to open up gaps centrally, and that's what they're hoping to do. And they did that there with MJ Williams, with getting him into a shooting position.
And the scoreline, 32 minutes gone. Ball cleared forward by Arthur Nastor onto the head of Xavier Benjamin. Doesn't quite drop for Innes Cameron, and Barrow looking for a free kick there. He's given the free kick against Innes Cameron. There will be a free kick to the visitors on the halfway line. 33rd minute. Elsewhere in the National League, say a full schedule of fixtures at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's Boston who lead 1-0 away at Solihull, Southend 1, Scunthorpe 0, Sutton 1, Altrincham 0, Tamworth 1, Fylde 0, Harrogate 1-0 up away at Wealdstone, Worthing still leading by a goal to 0 against Forest Green, and Yeovil 1-0 up against Carlisle United. All the rest of the games are still 0-0. Same here at Holker Street, where it's a free kick just behind the halfway line to Hornchurch, just about to enter into the 34th minute. Lifted forward by Jack Powell. It's a good delivery, but it's well watched and well gathered by Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal. Very little in terms of pressure around him. He was able to just catch it with comfort, wasn't he, in the penalty box?
Yeah, not a lot of pressure at all. Maybe the attacking players were expecting the ball to go into that area, but it wasn't looped in, wasn't it? It was driven in a lower height, so should have been difficult to defend. But
Xavier Benjamin just rolls it back into the feet of Ben Winterbottom. Back again to Benjamin, who'll carry the ball forward. He's got Marcel Oakley outside him. No one really around him, and as you say, there was plenty of space for Xavier Benjamin to continue carrying that ball.
Yeah, and if he continues carrying it, he's going to draw a Hornchurch player out to him, and that's where you need the movement around that.
Here's Danny Amos on that left hand side, just holds the ball up well here for Barrow, looking for an option around him, delivers it into the box, cleared away, picked up by Crankshaw. Now Marcel Oakley, he's going to drive it towards goal. Marcel Oakley, it's a great effort from the Barrow right back, and it just drops narrowly wide of goal.
Yeah, good strike. Hits across it, doesn't he? So that's probably what's taken it wide of the near post, really, isn't it? It's just hit across it and got it bending outwards. And the keeper's really clever at the minute now. He's slowed it down quite a bit in this first half and not had any counts from the referee. The only counts we've seen are from throw-ins. Referee is having a word with him now, so hopefully that speeds things up. But again, Hornchurch are probably happy with keeping us shooting from distance. Just need to work that little bit harder to try and get in behind in the wide areas to get them crosses into the box rather than shooting from distance all the time.
Yeah, Andrew Miller goes across and gives him the talking to. Actually pointed to his head as well, the referee Andrew Miller. Guys are now 2-0 up against Workington in our MPL Premier action this afternoon. Barrow again have it with George Walker, tried to get it out to Marcel Oakley, but it's cleared away. Hearns just clashed with Xavier Benjamin in the centre of the park.
Yeah, it was strong defending from Benjamin. I mean, you teach your forwards to bump a defender before the ball comes, but the defender bumped Hearn then before the ball came, and he's winded him.
And that challenge comes in from Marcel Oakley, but it's too heavy-handed, and it will be a free kick to the visitors just behind the halfway line. 36th minute. Don't forget you can join in the show this afternoon, 81333. Start your text message with the word Cumbria to text, or you can get us on WhatsApp as well, 08000 321 333. Again, make sure you start that WhatsApp message with the word Cumbria. That'll come to us here at Holker Street. It's Henry Sander just takes a couple of touches, tees it back to Jack Powell. Now it goes all the way back to the halfway line for Jack Baldwin. Lifts a long angle ball forward, but it's well claimed by Ben Winterbottom, who tries to launch it forward instantly for Crankshaw, who was tussling away with Joe Kizzy there. A few shouts wanting a free kick. Referee says no, and it's back with Arthur Nastor in the Hornchurch goal.
Yeah, it looked like they were both at it, didn't it? So the referees just let it go, I think.
Lifted forward by Hornchurch. Header on there by Danny Amos, Crankshaw, out to Ben Jackson. Lofts it forward looking for Innes Cameron, cleared away by Ryan Innes. Barrow get it back again. It's Danny Amos all the way back to Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal. 37th minute here at Holker Street, still awaiting the first goal of the game. It's Marcel Oakley, knocks it inside for MJ Williams. Back it goes to Callum Bailey. Now Danny Amos into the feet of Ben Jackson. It's a good challenge there from Miles Weston. Goes on a play for a Barrow throw on this left-hand side. Attacking towards the Holker Street end of the ground in their black and white striped shirts, the black shorts and the black socks. Challenge there from Ryan Innes, clears it away. Xavier Benjamin gets his head onto it. Probably would have been easier for him to get it under control and try and play with his feet there, Xavier Benjamin.
It was a strange header as well, wasn't it? It was like an attacking header, heading it into the ground.
Barrow get a throw, which Ben Jackson takes. Back it goes to MJ Williams. Now Marcel Oakley trying to spin away from his man. He's done very well there with a full-blooded challenge around him. Scott Smith just gets it out to George Walker, trying to release Scott Smith with the ball forward. It's intercepted, and then Smith decides to lunge in there on Ling. Does win the ball. It will be a throw, but the game has been stopped.
Yeah, it looked a painful one for Oakley. So his first touch was quite heavy, so that led in to going into a 50-50, and it ended up a bit of a block tackle. So he could just do a little bit of damage to your ankle, things like that. Hopefully he's okay.
Oakley is back to his feet. He is hobbling his way towards the touchline, but does look to be okay. A bit of a grimace on his face, as you would expect. The referee blows the whistle for things to resume with this Hornchurch throw, and it's a long throw. Marcel Oakley gets up with the header but can only head it down a play for another throw in to the visitors. Still 0-0 the scoreline in the 39th minute here at Holker Street. Samling with a throw, down the line it goes, and it's headed on again by Oakley. Walker with a little back header, trying to keep things alive for Barrow, but it's back into the penalty area again. Well watched by Xavier Benjamin, but all he can do is clear it out of play for another Hornchurch throw, and they're just getting the territory a little bit here.
Yeah, they're just helping little balls on, just getting Barrow pinned back and back and back, trying to win throw-ins, free kicks in the final third to get the Giants up.
Another chance for them to deliver here. It's Samling again, the man that's going to take it. Jack Powell makes a darting run towards the corner flag to get in position just to offer some support, but it's going to be a long throw by Ling into the penalty area. Well attacked. Comes back out to Ling. Now Powell sends it into the box. Callum Bailey got the wrong side of the ball there, and the shot came in. Ben Winterbottom does well to gather it up in his hands.
He's probably rushed his clearance there as well. We weren't really set for a quick one. Yes, we had numbers in that forward line, but there's no one really coming behind that to pick up the second ball.
It's Joe Kizzy again, lifts the ball forward, flicked on, comes to Scott Smith. Now it's back out to Marcel Oakley, and Barrow being urged on by their home support here. Into Scott Smith again, back out to Marcel Oakley on this right hand side, carrying the ball forward for Barrow. Plays it out to George Walker, just looking for that opportunity to deliver. Inside to MJ Williams. MJ Williams in a lofted ball, and in the end, it caught everyone out, bar the goalkeeper Arthur Astor, who gets up and turns it behind for the corner.
Yeah, goalkeeper's done well there, because he's obviously set for the cross to come in, hasn't he? And MJ's not quite got his foot whipped round the ball enough, and it's looped. It looked like it was going into that far top corner, didn't it, from where we're sitting. Goalkeeper's done well to backtrack and get a hand on it, put it over the bar. Just watching Hornchurch from the throw in there, if you watch Hearn's movement, so difficult to mark. He was never standing still, always trying to get on the blind side of Benjamin. So Benjamin's having to pull shirts and try and keep as close to him as he can, so he's one to watch from set pieces, Hearn.
Barrow have this corner in the 41st minute. Referee Andrew Miller keen to make sure the ball's in the correct position here for Scott Smith's corner.
So you're talking millimetres here, aren't you? What difference is the ball there? What difference is that going to make to the advantage Barrow have got from that corner? It is just, of all the things to be fussy about.
If anything, surely he's actually just moved the ball further out than what it was in.
Yeah, ridiculous. Just all the things to be fussy about. Now he's going to go and tell everyone not to push and shove, rather than waiting for the ball to come into play and then make a decision.
Corner to be taken. Scott Smith standing over it. 42nd minute. Blow the whistle from Andrew Miller, and now we can take the corner. Swung into the box, and it's headed behind. It will be another Barrow corner, this time out to this right hand side. Danny Amos this time coming across to be the man to take it in the 42nd minute. And thanks to Mark and Lou who've been in touch. Oh, how we've missed the football at home. Let's have it, Barrow. Lisa. We'll hope to try and have it from this one. It's Danny Amos with that corner. Swings it into the box. Good delivery. It's punched away by Arthur Nasta and it doesn't drop for Ben Jackson. Cleared away. Flicked on there and the foul given against Marcel Oakley for a challenge on Jack Powell.
I could understand that being given if Oakley had jumped later, but they've both jumped at the same time and the Hornchurch player has won the header, he's won the duel. So I don't understand why it's a foul.
It's going to be a free kick which is going to be taken by the Hornchurch keeper Arthur Nasta.
Gives them a chance to slow it down again, doesn't it, after Barrow's little bit of momentum.
43rd minute, Kendal leading by a goal to nil against Steaton in the FA Vars. Joe Wilkinson grabbing the goal for Matty Flynn's men, although under the guidance of Jason Walker this afternoon. The ball touched into the middle by Hornchurch, looking to try and break Barrow down. Xavier Benjamin does very well there to get onto the ball, and now it's Danny Amos with a bit of space to carry out, and he's played it into Scott Smith, and now there is space opening up here for Barrow to bring it forward. George Walker peels out to the right hand side, and it's rolled into the feet of George Walker, trying to get around his man. It's a low ball into the box. Smith gets onto it. Smith goes for goal, and it's gathered up well again by Arthur Nasta in the Hornchurch goal.
That's an excellent reverse ball from Amos there into Scott Smith's feet, but Scott Smith, he just slowed it down a little bit for me. One touch out your feet, get it out to Walker, get him driving.
Sent forward again by Hornchurch, and it's rushed, you could probably say, by Arthur Nasta. I won't mind as it's gathered up by Ben Winterbottom, and now Callum Bailly gets it into MJ Williams on the halfway line. Minute and a half plus stoppage time to go in this first half. Ben Jackson, back it goes to Danny Amos, inside to MJ Williams, now Crankshaw trying to return the pass to Williams, and it's back with Crankshaw again now. Central position, not much in terms of movement around him. He has got it out to George Walker, goes back inside to Marcel Oakley. Now Walker again. Oakley starts to make the run out to the right hand side. It's into the middle for MJ Williams. Now Scott Smith, back out to George Walker again, just looking for that opportunity to deliver it into the box. It's not the best again from Barrow, and again it's intercepted and cleared. Comes back to Callum Bailly.
Sandat's doing an excellent job of getting back to pick up Walker and making it difficult for Walker to get round him.
And come Barrow again now with Crankshaw on the left hand side. Ben Jackson makes a run in front of him. It's knocked into the middle for MJ Williams. Now Marcel Oakley. Out to the right again for George Walker, just looking to try and get at his man here now. George Walker delivers it into the box. Good delivery, headed away. Comes out to Danny Amos on the left. He tries to cross, blocked by Nathan Ferguson. Back to Amos again into the box. Cameron throws himself at it, couldn't get onto the ball. Keeps it alive though. Into Ben Jackson in the penalty area. Back outside it goes to Amos. Good delivery into the box, cleared. Back to Ben Jackson, flies it across the face, and it's a wild one from Ben Jackson. Goes out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, again, it's another good phase, isn't it, where Barrow moving the ball quickly. It was nice to see George Walker drifting inside with the ball then. He had a couple of goals on the outside of Sandat before, didn't he? Didn't quite come off, so drifts inside that time to swing the ball in, made it difficult. Ball gets played out to the other side. I don't know if you saw Scott Smith's movement, but he bust a gut to get into that position. He was just a little bit underneath it, wasn't he? And then Jackson's got too much on the cross.
You've got to ask the question of when is the referee going to take action against the goalkeeper here, because he's already been and spoken to him. And he's now just had to blow the whistle to tell him you've got a ball already in your 6-yard box and you've just gone across to pick up a spare ball.
Again, for me, it's clever from the goalkeeper. If he knew that football was there, pretended he didn't, and goes to get the other one. Referee's job to get on top of that, isn't it?
Interesting to see just what we're going to have in terms of stoppage time. I've not seen the board go up yet.
Will we see the board though? How small they are.
Oh, we're into it now, whatever it is. We've played a minute of it. So here come Hornchurch again in possession. Last week we had a referee that couldn't tell the time. This week we've got a referee that's enjoying himself. It goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw into Barrow on this right hand side. And we're a minute and a half into whatever the added time is. Throw in taken by Marcel Oakley, headed on by Innes Cameron, doesn't run, it's cleared away, comes out for a throw in. Innes Cameron screaming to a supporter who had the ball in his hands to throw it to him so he could take the throw. Into the middle it goes now here for Callum Bay.
It's probably this bit now that Adam Murray's going to be a bit frustrated with, because yes, we need to be patient, but you can still be patient and move the ball quickly, and we're just moving the ball a little bit too slow.
Lifted forward, but it's Joe Kizio gets behind it, and that's going to be it. Half time, and it is goalless here at Holker Street. First home game of the new season for Barrow. 0-0 the scoreline. Hornchurch, who we did say at the top aren't coming here just to make up the numbers, they have had the ball in the back of the Barrow net. It was a great delivery from Miles Weston, headed towards goal. Thankfully for Barrow, the offside flag did go up as it did cushion into the back of the net. Ultimately though, Craig, I mean, they have had chances, Barrow, haven't they? They need, again, it's like last week where they need to find that bit of quality in the final third.
Yeah, I'd probably say the George Walker and Scott Smith are chances. I think everything else has been an opportunity that they've not managed to turn into a chance. But they've just got to keep that concentration at the back, because as we've seen, Hornchurch are quite happy for us to have the ball in deeper areas, and they're forcing errors, and if they win it, as I said, as soon as they win it, they just try and get it forward quickly, and then the support comes, and Hearn's doing a terrific job up there of putting pressure on our defensive unit. And as I said, it's Sandat who's sort of sacrificing himself a little bit, dropping back into that midfield four, but then the support is quite quick up to them, so Barrow have got to be switched on to that, and especially from set pieces, throw-ins, corners, free kicks, the movement of Hearn in that box is really good.
It's going to be interesting to see just what he said during that half-time break, isn't it, and see what kind of reaction we get going forward in the second half from Barrow.
Yeah, I think a lot of it will be to move the ball a little bit more quickly, especially we've caused problems when we've got it into wide areas. So can we shift the ball to one side? If we can't get in that side, shift it back to the other, but do it quickly. And then as Hornchurch are moving across the pitch to try and get over, that's when your little gaps start to appear, and that's when you can start to break lines with your passes into Innes Cameron or into Scott Smith, who's getting into them pockets of space. You could see potentially a bit later in the second half someone with a little bit more technical ability, if that's fair to say, a genuine number 10 to just pop into those pockets to get it on the half turn and then cause problems to Hornchurch.
And from the Hornchurch perspective, I mean, we have got people from Hornchurch who will be listening or watching in today. I mean, you can certainly sense, can't you, a team that are coming into this, with that enthusiasm, as we said, and that is the danger that Barrow will have, on them today. Yeah, the
Hornchurch have got an excellent structure. As soon as Barrow have got into a settled period of possession, they drop into that 5-4-1 formation. As soon as Barrow get anywhere near the attacking side of the centre circle, they are in faces, and as soon as they win it back, the first thought is forward. Hearn's a willing runner, gets into channels, makes it difficult. Sandat then supports. I've been really impressed with Sandat, to be fair, because he's doubled up on George Walker when he's needed to, but then in the attacking area is a threat as well. And the same with Ferguson. Ferguson's dropping in to make it that defensive four in the midfield, but then when they win it back, he's supporting Hearn. So the concentration levels of Barrow have got to be good just to stop Hornchurch getting a goal in this game. But if it is good, Hornchurch will then have to come out of the traps a little bit more to try and get that attacking, and that hopefully will create space elsewhere. So we've got a really interesting second half coming up.
Yeah, big second half certainly to come here. BBC Radio Cumbria Sports, stick with us at the break here at Holker Street. First home game of the new season for Barrow, and it is level. It's Barrow 0, Hornchurch 0.
It was organised, it was quick. Didn't really let them play out with any sort of purpose, and there wasn't really much in the game. The stats told you that, completely 50-50 on everything until the mistake, and then after the mistake, you've got to say it's been all Yeovil and Carlisle haven't really created anything of any substance. There's been a couple of times where Adji boys combined out here on the left hand side to try and get crosses in, but the crosses haven't been fantastic, haven't been clinical enough, have they really? And we haven't created enough of them to really go and cause Yeovil a problem.
Well, 1.5 games of football into this National League season, Carlisle United are on 0 points, and at the moment it's going to take something a little special in the second half for them to change that, because Yeovil are the better side and they lead here at Hewish Park. That goal from Walker in the 18th minute means it is Yeovil 1, Carlisle 0.
The reaction coming in at the break, Weatherby Blue, defensive errors again, lack of intensity from the Blues. The way our games have gone over the last season or two, we should hopefully have a good second half. Martin in Lochmaben, the squad and management haven't improved since last season. We've become Gateshead / Morecambe combined, not winning a league or playoff reaching side. Alex says frustrating, seem to be doing fine and we shoot ourselves in the foot again. 4 goals conceded now this season and 3 of them are from our own mistakes, looking extremely vulnerable on the counter-attack. Also, Robin Wigton says, I'm getting a very bad feeling of deja vu with this manager appointments and players he's been allowed to bring in, not happy. James, lifetime CUFC fan, these players are really showing their quality today, their limited quality. That is poor non-league quality. It's heartbreaking to watch. How much further down can Carlisle United sink? I mean, we saw a lot of positives in the first half last weekend, didn't we? You've got to say it's been pretty much the opposite to that this afternoon.
Yeah, there were elements that were okay, but that's it. And you need to be better than okay when you come to a side who are tipped to be in that fight with you for promotion. And Carlisle haven't done enough of that. The mistake, I mean, it's clear that attack is more of a, something that they focus on than defence. They leave gaps, that's going to be the way that they play, I think. But they've got to be better going forwards if that's the case. Galvin, he switched off. He was thinking about what to do next. He let the ball roll under his foot. He got caught on it, and it was an awful mistake. Worse than Wern's for the 3rd goal against Worthing last week. I mean, when you see it, Carlisle fans, you wonder what he was doing. He's just had one of those moments, really, where he's just stopped. And awful moment. But it's other little things as well. Nicholson's been brought in because he's trusted by Elliott. He's part of this play. He was part of that great run at the end of the season, almost title-winning form from Gateshead when he came in under Elliott to help them avoid the drop. But little things today, he's had quite a lot of the ball at the back for Carlisle, and he's tried to start some of the counter-attacks, but some of his passing's been wretched. When you've got fans saying, why are we signing players from a side that barely avoided relegation when we're trying to go for a title, and we're trying to explain to them that maybe there's more to it, there's more nuance, but then Nicholson passes like that out to defence when Carlisle are trying to find their way back into a game, you find yourself wondering if the fans were right and you were wrong.
But in Nicholson's defence, he's not played many minutes pre-season. It's his first game back. He is going to be a bit rusty, isn't he? Sellafield Toothy says this team looks absolutely clueless. The mentality on display is so poor. Lenny throwing his arms around, players switching off at key times. The game plan seems to have gone totally out the window. If we're not careful, this could turn really sour and be a season of survival, as these lot and Worthing are both poor teams. And seeing as often, Robbins, who's at the game, says there's a lot of negativity from the fans on the away terrace today. Sad, but can't say I disagree. In danger of looking like a Mike Williamson side. Rob Elliott must now show he's different and can affect games. Could be a long season depending on the second half flat, says Robin. The worry is, of course, James, is you look once again at that bench for a second game running, and where's the game changes if United do need to do something in that second half?
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to win it with plan A, and Carlisle's approach at the moment, I've said this to you before, Paul, it feels a bit like a boxer who wants to go out and win it in the opening round or two, doesn't want to try and go the full 12 rounds because they haven't got the depth, and that's what Carlisle feel like out there. So that is a worry, what he's going to do in the second half. I really think we need to move on from the Mike Williamson comparisons. Mike Williamson's tactical setup and the players he had trying to deploy it made absolutely zero sense. In fact, it looked kamikaze at times. It was ridiculous the way they were playing with players who were bereft of confidence, playing this, that Ruben Amorim formation that didn't work for him either. They're not this. They're much more practical. They're a team that play football with a purpose to try and get themselves forwards. Today they're not doing it very well, but that's where the comparison ends really, and the fact that they're both from Gateshead with Elliott. I do not see him at all as like Mike Williamson. I do not see the problems at all as like the Mike Williamson ones. They were pure stubbornness in the face of all evidence to the contrary. This is different. This is a guy who's his players aren't managing to quite do the tactic he wants, but they're very much in this game. You're not watching it and thinking this will never work. You're just thinking they need to play better today, and sadly that is the difference from last Saturday.
Yeah, this anonymous texter says we shouldn't be blaming the manager here. It's not tactical, it's player error. It's their fault, not the manager's. Thanks to everybody who's been getting in touch at the break. Carlisle United trailing 1-0 at Yeovil Town, still without a point so far this National League season as things stand. Let's hear about Barrow, where it's goalless at the break against Hornchurch at Holker Street. Watching this one, Adam Johnson and Craig Rutherford.
Yeah, half-time here at Holker Street, and it is still goalless on the opening home game of the new season for Barrow, but that could have been a lot different because the visitors, Hornchurch, who we said, coming here with all the enthusiasm, buoyed by that opening day victory against Kidderminster, are the side that have had the ball in the back of the net. Miles Weston delivering a ball out on the right-hand side. It was the left winger, Henry Sander, who got there ahead of Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal, flicked it into the middle of the goal to put what he thought was Hornchurch in front, only for the offside flag to come to the rescue of Barrow. One of those very difficult ones to tell from the television replays. In terms of the game in itself, Barrow have had chances at the other end. Scott Smith maybe should have done better when the ball broke to him in the middle, only to bend his shot wide on goal. They've had chances on the edge of the box. Marcel Oakley flashing a shot just into the side netting. MJ Williams has put one over the bar. There's been chances all around for Barrow, but unable to break down what has been a very sturgid Hornchurch defence. At the other end though, Craig, it's been the problem, isn't it, that we've said in pre-season, where at times they do leave themselves a little bit open with deliveries, and we've seen the one that was disallowed. There was a Ryan Innes header as well, which went narrowly wide. Things again, isn't it, that Adam Murray will be keen to stamp on when he's talking to him now in the dressing room.
Yeah, a lot of those are concentration things as well, just making sure you pick up your man. I think the header was from Innes, wasn't it, where you could tell there was a blocker in place to block his mark, and he peeled round the back, and he probably should have done a lot better, and they blocked the goalkeeper off really well without fouling him. But I think he'll be relatively pleased going in at half-time with the game being 0-0. They've created more opportunities than Hornchurch. They've had more shots on goal than Hornchurch. Yes, a lot of those shots has come from outside the box, so maybe a little bit more patience with regards to waiting for a better opportunity to get a shot off. But the way we move the ball needs to be a lot quicker. It's quite slow. There's a lot of arms flailing as if to say, I need a forward pass on. So more impetus with those players in and around possession of the ball to shorter feet, and that might drag a Hornchurch defender out of position to create space for somebody else to run into. And for me, get the ball wide, keep getting it wide. George Walker's already shown that he can get round the outside and get inside, so as a defensive player there, you're already struggling because you never know which way he's going to go. We haven't really seen us get the ball to Crankshaw on the opposite side, probably enough, but to be fair to him, he keeps drifting inside and picking up spaces in central areas of the pitch. So yeah, I think he'll be quite pleased, but he'll probably want us to show a little bit more assertiveness with our possession, move the ball a little bit quicker, but then final third decision making probably needs to be a little bit better. Defensive third, concentration, make sure we're picking up our men and we're ready to cover, because they are a threat on the break, Hornchurch.
Yeah, certainly been a degree of frustration coming from the crowd as well at the pace really that the ball is being moved, but certainly there are chances there for Barrow. They just need to show that little bit of quality again that we said from last week in that final third. Hopefully that can come in the second half, but at the break here at Holker Street, it is Barrow 0, Hornchurch 0.
Elsewhere in the National League at the break, let's bring you up to date with what's happening. Second game day of the new season. Aldershot 0, Hartlepool 0. It's FC Halifax 0, Bournemouth 1. Gateshead and Woking is goalless, so too Kidderminster against Eastleigh. Boston lead 1-0 away at Solihull. Southend are 1-0 up against Scunthorpe. Sutton lead Altrincham by a goal to 0. Tamworth 1, AFC Fylde 2. Wilston 1, Harrogate 1. And Worthing 1, Forest Green 0, as we've been hearing at Hewish Park. It's Yeovil 1, Carlisle United 0. Let's head into MPL Premier, where Workington are looking for their first points of the new season. 3 games in, they're still waiting by the looks of things. Jordan Weir.
They certainly are, Paul. It's currently Workington 0, Guiseley 2. A half of limited opportunities for the home side. To be honest, they're very lucky to go in only 2 goals behind thanks to late opportunities for the visitors. Bars Workington have been second best in all areas of the contest so far, and the visitors deservedly have a comfortable lead. Early chances saw the danger of Guiseley, with Jay Rowlands taking advantage of a mix-up between Alex Mitchell and Kieran Leslie to get a shot on target. Opportunities continue to fall to the visitors, and they eventually took the lead in the 18th minute as Adam Martin headed in at the back post, followed a Lucas Oddenston cross. Workington's first chance came in the 25th minute following a foul on Tom Stevenson. Kai Nugent whipping a ball into the area from the free kick, finding Jack Dickinson, the centre half, who headed wide. The visitors' lead was doubled in the 32nd minute just after the half-hour mark through Cameron Wilson from the penalty spot. Kai Nugent fouled Amir Birchall in the area, clipping the forward's heel. Wilson slotted the ball into the bottom right-hand side corner, and it could have been 3 or even 4-0 as the half-time whistle sounded, as the visitors hit the post through Jack Tinkler and then Jay Rowlands hitting an opportunity over the bar. The final action of the half came as for Reds after a foul on the edge of the area on Matty Douglas. Brendan Dickinson stood up from 20 yards out, but the shot was very high over the bar. As it stands, Reds will finish the afternoon bottom of the table, with the only side in NPL Premier without a point. A huge second half needed here at Derwent Park. It is Workington 0, Guiseley 2.
Andy is a Carlisle fan watching poor football while in the fan zone at Brunton Park. Basic errors, Andy says, poor decisions, nothing in midfield or up top. Fans here are switching off. This is beyond worrying if this is how we expect to win a league. Even worse, that fans are understandably disengaging if this is what's on offer. Weatherby Blue says, totally agree. James's point about Williamson, not the same game plan at all. I feel it's just a lack of ability from our players, lack of ambition from the club's recruitment department. We've been looking in the wrong direction for those players. Mike says 93 points last year, which was good but not quite good enough positivity to trouble the top sides. This year we needed some adjustment to address that, not a complete change of approach, which for example sees Linney, our most effective player, playing in a completely different role, and a significant part, not all of our recruitment, focusing on players who are not an upgrade on last season, says Mike. Last week we were told effort and possession were good, but effort and efficiency is not a substitute for being effective, says Mike. Let's take it to Parkside Road. FA Vars action. Carlisle City, we heard, were 2-0 winners last night away in their game at Billingham Synthonia. Kendall hopefully joining them in round 2, Gary Woodworth.
Yeah, a couple of minutes gone in the second half. Kendalltown leading here by 1-0. First half when Steaton took a lot of breaking down. A very resolute Steaton side in the first 45. Kendall with a lot of possession. Dominating possession really for the first 45 minutes. Lots of space to play in at times, lots of balls into the box, but the finish didn't come until 6 minutes before the interval. Goal for Joe Wilkinson, his first for Kendalltown. Through ball into Wilkinson. As the keeper rushed out, he pushed the ball past him, and then as the ball was going to go in anyway, he decided to blast it into the back of the net. Kendall's chances before that, Joe Sowerby tried his luck with a shot went across the face of goal. Jason Walker dinked a little free kick, but that went wide. For the visitors, they showed early on a couple of half sniffs for Barnes. One over the top was a decent chance, and he tried his luck from distance, which was easy for Matty Bailey in the Kendall goal. Just before half-time, a turn-in shot for the visitors from Abbas, again straight into the midriff of Bailey. Kendalltown dominant, and at the moment, just into the second half, they lead by 1-0.
The sound of local football.
Carlisle and Barrow, exclusively live.
BBC Radio Cumbria Sport.
Yeah, welcome back here to Holker Street. Second half action underway. 0-0 at the break between Barrow and Hornchurch. Hornchurch have made one change during that half-time break, with Josh Walker coming on in place of Nathan Ferguson. I'll run you through the lineup shortly. There's a foul by Danny Amos, results in a free kick for Hornchurch. So for Barrow, they've got Ben Winterbottom in goal. The back three of Xavier Benjamin, Paul Callum-Bay and Danny Amos. And it's Marcel Oakley, MJ Williams, Scott Smith and Ben Jackson in the midfield, with George Walker, Innes Cameron and Ollie Crankshaw as the front three. Kennedy Digi, Katia Kiarte, Rakeem Harper, Isaac Marriott, Danny Rose, Ben Whitfield and Thierry Latif Fairweather on the bench. For Hornchurch, they've got Arthur Nastor in goal, the back four of Joe Kizzy, Jack Baldwin, Ryan Innes and Sam Ling. Then it's Tom Ray and Jack Powell in the middle, Miles Weston, Josh Walker and Henry Sander in behind Henry Hearn. On the bench, Reece Byrne, Will Greenidge, Charlie Pegram, Asher Yearwood, Frankie Edwards and Bobby Kelman completing the subs bench for the visitors, who have a free kick in a good position out wide on this right hand side. Just a minute and a half into this second half here. Barrow very much needing to stand firm from this delivery early on, Craig.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay. I think Callum Bay has been booked for the foul he has. It was a sloppy foul.
Free kick swung into the box, and it's well claimed by Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal.
Yeah, good hand, yeah. Silly foul to give away, because he was just in the corner. He had numbers backs, and he's just sort of rugby tackled him down to the ground.
Barrow worked the ball out to this right hand side for Xavier Benjamin. Good tracking back there from Henry Hearn, but Barrow managed to get it out to Marcel Oakley. right hand side, rolls the ball forward looking for Scott Smith. It's a good challenge there from Jack Baldwin, and Scott Smith has collided with him as the challenge is made. It will be a free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, 2 silly free kicks to give away in the space of a minute there, really. So again, we had the chance to have a little bit of momentum, keep Hornchurch under pressure with a throw in their half, but unfortunately we've given away a silly free kick and Hornchurch can reset and go again.
0-0 the scoreline here. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport on the second day of the National League season. DAB Plus and also online via the BBC Sport website and app, of course, courtesy of the TV cameras as well on DAZN. Great to have your company this afternoon. As the ball goes forward by Hornchurch and it's flicked out of play, and it will be a throw-in for the visitors. Over on that left-hand side, attacking towards the Holker Street end of the ground in this second half. And their red shirts, the red shorts and the red socks. Barrow in their black and white stripes, the black shorts and the black socks, attacking towards the steelworks end of the ground. It's a long throw from Hornchurch into the penalty area, and this Cameron gets up with the header, flicks it away, and Cameron again will get up. Doesn't quite drop for Scott Smith. Tom Wright teases it into the box, but it's gathered up again by Ben Winterbottom. Amos, now Jackson, out on this left hand side, back inside it goes for MJ Williams. Sends the ball forward, it's overhit again though, too far ahead of Scott Smith and gathered up by Alfanasta.
Yeah, you could see what he's trying to do, get Ollie Crankshaw in, just overhit, difficult one to play, that central. George Walker was the possible diag, but he looked offside.
So Hornchurch delivered a ball forward and the offside flag goes up against Henry Hearn, who again got in behind the Barrow back line there. It's brave defending from Barrow, isn't it? Sitting up as far as they are pressing up the field, and it is leaving the opportunities for Hornchurch to try and gamble and to try and get in behind. And it looks like they've changed their shape a little bit as well, doesn't it? They've gone 2 up top.
Yeah, they've got someone supporting Hearn, haven't they now? Although again, out of possession, they'll drop in and support. Great press from the 3 of them there.
Good challenge there from Ben Jackson. Now Paul Callum-Bay gets there and rolls it back into the feet of his goalkeeper in Ben Winterbottom. Looks like they're playing a 5-2-1-2, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a 5-3-2 with Sandat in that little pocket as a number 10.
It's ball lifted forward by Marcel Oakley, looking for the run of George Walker, who's done well to keep it in play out on that right hand touchline. Takes it towards the corner flag, but it's well marshalled by Samling, and it goes out of play for the goal kick to Hornchurch. 50th minute here. They'll know the scoreline. About to enter into the 51st minute. Boreham Wood leading by a goal to 0 against Halifax elsewhere in the National League.
It might help Barrow a little bit that if they've got an extra player in the top end of the pitch supporting Hearn, means they're not going to drop as quickly into that 5-4-1, which is difficult for Barrow to break down. So if Barrow can click onto that and move the ball quickly when they win it back, they can cause some problems. But again, concentration, because Hornchurch have now got more players up the top end of the pitch when they win the ball back.
And throw forward headed on by Joe Kizzy, and it drops out front of the Barrow throw, which Danny Amos takes on this left hand side, looking for Ben Jackson, but again it's cleared away. Miles Weston gets it under control, then flicks it through the middle, looking for the run again of Henry Hearn. Barrow managed to get it away, but maybe a bit unorthodox in terms of the defending there from Barrow on the expense of a throw into Hornchurch.
Yeah, we talked this pre-season, didn't we? The distances between Benjamin and Callum-Bay was far too big there, and there was a massive hole between them, and that's where Hornchurch tried to get in.
Jack Powell turns against MJ Williams. MJ Williams keeping up the pace with him, but it comes out to this right hand side, and MJ Williams gets there again, but the ball has gone out. It will be a throw into Hornchurch. On this right hand side, which Miles Weston is going to take. 52nd minute here. Throw in taken, comes towards the edge of the area, and again Callum-Bay does well to force it away, but not far enough as Tom Raitt keeps it alive Out to Sam Ling. Tom Rake makes a good run into that left-hand channel. It's a good block by Scott Smith, but it goes on a play for a throw into Hornchurch.
Yeah, Barrow just not adapting to Hornchurch's change of shape and personnel, are they? They're finding it difficult now dealing with two as a back three, and then understanding who needs to pick Sander up when he drives forward. Does a midfielder have to go with him? Do you allow him to go to the spare defender in the back three? So once they get that sorted, we should see Barrow try and start to get a foot on the ball again and try and take a little bit of control. But an excellent start to the second half from Hornchurch.
Countdown here from the referee as the long throw eventually does come into the box. Callum Bay gets his head onto it, but can only head it behind. Four corner to Hornchurch. Again, are asking the question to the assistant referee.
He's got to be really careful, Benjamin. And if they had a stronger assistant referee there, it's a stonewall penalty for me. He's no interest in looking at the ball. Benjamin, he's just got both arms around Hearn. No interest in looking at the ball. Both arms around him, wrestles him to the floor. Barrow have really got away with one there for me.
It's going to be a chance here to deliver into the box. They're still pushing and shoving going on inside that penalty area, and the referee now will get a hold onto it here. Xavier Benjamin and Joe Kizzy it is this time that are the two involved, and Callum Bay trying to play the peacemaker in the proceedings. And Joe Kizzy now is hugging his teammate in there just to make it that bit harder for Xavier Benjamin to break them up, and it's turning into a bit of a Royal Rumble in the penalty area.
Do you know what?
And the free kick is given to Barrow as the corner taken.
Happen, and as a Hornchurch player, I'd be deeply frustrated with that decision. It's the easiest decision a referee can make. They were both at it, to be fair, but Benjamin's doing exactly the same. He's got both hands wrapped round, so why is it just a free kick to Barrow? And this is where referees were told to stamp out on it, but at least make the right decisions.
Barrow have it in possession here with Xavier Benjamin. Plays it forward. It's an overhit pass that catches everyone off guard there for Barrow, and straight away Hornchurch get onto it. Again, a pull of the shirt there from Benjamin on Hearn, which goes unnoticed. Flicked on by Josh Walker, and now Sandback couldn't get it under control, and Benjamin again can clear the ball away. Benjamin. Now Jack Powell brings it under control here for the visitors. Good challenge from MJ Williams. Crankshaw gets it out to Danny Amos. Now Barrow with a rare foothold of the ball here in this second half. Will carry the ball forward with Ben Jackson. Amos outside it. Comes to Amos. Tries to cross. It's charged down. Goes out for a Barrow throw.
Yeah, and they're the areas that Barrow need to take advantage of, because as we said before, Hornchurch now can't drop into that 5-4-1 as quickly as they did first half, so they need to make the most of that extra little bit of space they're going to have when they transition from out of possession into possession.
Actually gone for a corner. It's going to be Scott Smith that's going to take it. He's stood over the ball on this left-hand side. Plenty of bodies inside the box to aim for. Can Barrow make this count here from a corner? It's taken short. Comes back to Scott Smith, delivers it into the box, headed up into the air. Ben Jackson trying to bring it down. Comes to Innes Cameron, who weaves the ball into the middle, but it's covered up by Arthur Nasta, who straight away launches it forward. And Ben Winterbottom's got a trap back there to make sure he gets onto the ball, and he does pick it up in the penalty area.
Just wondering if they've been working on this short corner in training and the build-up to this, because there's not been many corners that have been delivered straight, and have they? A lot of them have been taken short.
Working out to Marcel Oakley on this right hand side. Now George Walker, space opening up for him here, delivers it into the box, and again it's not got beyond the first man. MJ Williams trying to win the first ball, but he loses it, and now here's Sam that carrying the forward, and now all of a sudden Hornchurch have options, and it's into Hearn in the penalty area. Good block by Paul Callum Bay. He gets a reception from the fans there as he makes that block. He had to make the block. Hearn again will try and deliver.
It does look a foul on MJ Williams right at the start of that phase, and this is what players will get frustrated with, like the consistency or the lack of consistency from referees on decisions on holding and pushing.
Barrow managed to see it out, but only at the expense of a Hornchurch throw. Thrown forward to the edge of the area. Jack Powell trying to get in between two there, but can't. Goes on a play, and it will be a goal kick to Barrow. Still 0-0 the scoreline, 57th minute. Many thanks to Tom, who's been in touch. Says, nice to have you back on Holker Street comms after a decent summer. It's sounding less Waldorf and Statler already. MJ Williams is looking like an important player for this season. Definitely the correct appointment to give him the armband, says Tom. More optimistic than last season, he says.
Not if Benjamin keeps making decisions like that.
Here come Hornchurch again, in possession inside the Barrow half. Out to Jack Powell, tries to play it forward. It's blocked by Scott Smith, but no one in a black and white shirt gambling on that loose ball. It's delivered into the box, headed away by Callum Bailey. Comes back to Kizzy, and what a goal from Joe Kizzy! Sends it flying into the top corner of the goal. There's no stopping it.
That is some hit, Adam. That is some hit. A rolling ball towards him to keep it below the crossbar there. That is an incredible hit. I can't give him any more plaudits than saying it's an absolutely incredible hit. And it comes from, I made a little comment about sort of going against that optimism when we've said pre-season Benjamin's the one of this defensive unit that looks like he's got a rick in him, looks like he's got a mistake in him, and yes, it's an unbelievable finish, but the phase of play that leads to it comes from him giving the ball away in a dangerous area, and we don't recover from it. But what a strike that is. It's an unbelievable strike, brilliant technique.
Tight into the top corner of the goal from Joe Kizzy. Promotion winner at this level, of course, with Barnet just a couple of years ago. And he's the man who puts Hornchurch in front in the 57th minute and sends the 81 travelling supporters into absolute hysterics over on the far side. And supporters now venting frustration out onto the pitch.
Yeah, and you can understand it, because again, we're not seeing that front foot in your face. Remember in pre-season the defensive unit was going all the way in with any forwards that drop deep, making it impossible for teams to settle. Come to the first 2 games of the season, we haven't seen it.
I'll lift it forward here now for Innes Cameron. Gets it out to this right hand side, tries to deliver it into the box, but it's straight into the hands of the Hornchurch goalkeeper Arthur Nasta. Barrow trailing here by a goal to nil in the 59th minute. Nasta lifts it forward, Benjamin gets onto it, clears it away, but it only goes at the expense of a throw-in for Hornchurch over on their left-hand side.
It's everything Hornchurch deserve though this second half. They've been far the better team. Their change of shapes really made it difficult for Barrow. Josh Walker coming on to support Hearn in that forward position, and Sandat now just in that role behind them. Barrow found it really difficult to get out of defensive situations and not taking advantage of it when they have.
Ball goes out to this left-hand side and it's not short. Delivered into the box again. Josh Walker gets there. That's a little push in the back there from Danny Amos, which goes unnoticed. And Barrow now will bring the ball forward here with Ollie Crankshaw. Out to Ben Jackson on this left-hand side. Can they get themselves back on parity here? Trailing by a goal to nil. Got blocked by Miles Weston. Goes out of play for a throw-in to Barrow on this left-hand side. Taken short to MJ Williams. Looking for options around him. There's very little. Amos. Now Jackson again. Back into Amos, gets in the area, brilliant by Danny Amos, pulls it back, but the quality isn't there from the pullback from Amos. Cleared away, Callum Bailey now will bring it forward. He's fouled, free kick to Barrow.
And that was, you know, when you talk about players telegraphing things, he's absolutely telegraphed that's what he was going to do. So I'll have to see it again, but it was the player coming in at the back post where he could have just slotted it across that 6-yard box for defenders facing their own goal. It's a difficult ball to deal with. Defenders don't want to hang a leg out. Goalkeeper doesn't know whether to come or not. Call it the corridor of uncertainty, don't we? And we just telegraphed the pullback really, and the quality of the pullback wasn't great.
We'll need to find something here from this free kick in the 61st minute now here at Holker Street, trailing by a goal to nil. And it's going to be Danny Amos, the man that's going to take it. Plenty of options inside the penalty area. Hornchurch have got everyone back inside the box. As Amos delivers it into the middle. Again, it's dealt with comfortably. Nobody attacking it in a black and white shirt. And Hornchurch now are in a great position here, and it's going to be Sandat who's going to carry it, and Sandat still going with it, squares it across, chance for Hearn, 2-0 to Hornchurch, and Barrow from their own free kick. They've not dealt with the clearance, and Hornchurch lead by 2-0, and Barrow look nothing like the team that we saw here in pre-season.
You're absolutely right. What a great break from Hornchurch again though. I think it was Oakley that time, honestly, who misjudged the bounce of the ball, but the composure from Hearn to drift wide and then just cut it across. It's excellent play from Hearn, because he could have been really selfish and took it on himself, but he doesn't. He understands what's around him, he's aware what's around him. Nice little pass for Hornchurch to finish, but you're dead right, Adam. This is far from the team we've seen pre-season, and I really hope this is not going to be a season of a lot of talk about what this team's going to do, and then we see the opposite in games.
Looks like Barrow are preparing a couple of changes. Isaac Marriott, he stood over there. Ben Whitfield as well. It needs something here from this Barrow side, trailing by 2-0. And it's just been too easy for Hornchurch in this second half.
Yeah, Barrow have not dealt with their change of shape. They've not dealt with the back three now having to mark 2 forwards with a number 10, and Barrow have still only got 2 in the middle of midfield if we're playing that 3-4-3. So they're outnumbering us in that area of the pitch, and we're not dealing with it.
Just in the replay back, and it's just terrible the way the ball bounces over Marcel Oakley on the halfway line. It's a comfortable clearance, a comfortable header.
It's totally mistimes it, doesn't he?
MJ Williams gets it out to Danny Amos. It's a good block by Sander. Ben Jackson can't get to it, goes out of play. It'll be a throw in. Comes to MJ Williams into Crankshaw. Crankshaw tries to shoot. It's a good block by Jack Powell. Now MJ Williams again. Back out to the right hand side it goes for George Walker, trying to get around his man. It's a good sliding challenge there from Henry Hearn, who's trapped back. It goes out of play, and it's going to be a Barrow throw deep inside the Hornchurch half. 63rd minute here, about to enter into the 64th, and Barrow are trailing by 2-0. Back it goes again to MJ Williams.
It's all getting a bit familiar, isn't it, for the Barrow supporters, where passes now are becoming a bit safe. Players are not wanting to take responsibility. It's a fantastic diagonal pass from MJ Williams. I've just said that.
Great crossfield ball. Ben Jackson delivers it into the box, but again it's easy pickings for Arthur Nastor in the Hornchurch goal.
Yeah, when we get into the position of the pitch where it matters, our decision making's been found wanting.
So Hornchurch send the ball forward. It's going to go out of play, and in fact it's going to be a triple change being made here by Adam Murray. Barrow trailing by 2-0 here. Their first home game of this new campaign. The same problems at the minute, the same Holker Street woes. It's going to be a debut for Thierry Latti Fairweather, who's coming on in place of Danny Amos. That's the first of the changes for Barrow. So Isaac Marriott and Ben Whitfield also there. Ben Whitfield is coming on for George Walker. He's the second of those changes. And Isaac Marriott coming on for Scott Smith is the third. So a trio of changes made here by Adam Murray, and they need to do something to get back in this game.
Yeah, very like for like as well for me though, so not really personnel on the pitch to mix the shape up a little bit, unless Fairweather can play as a fullback and when we go into a 4.
Interesting to see. He is a left back, left-sided centre half. He can play in both of those roles.
Yeah.
It does look as though he is just going into a like-for-like state here for Barrow. Ball goes forward for Marcel Oakley, carrying it down that right-hand side. A little push in the back, and he tumbles down, and it will be a free kick. Al-Har's been in touch to say, no surprise really, we're at home and not going for it. Where are these players that will take us to the next level? He says, we don't set up to win, this is what you get. Not good enough, still half the losers from last season. Thanks for the commentary, he says. Ian Alley says, sounds a frustrating watch, honeymoon period quickly vanishing. On the plus side, the barbecue is lit, he says, of course on holiday at this present moment in time.
I'm not getting jealous.
Here's Isaac Marriott holding on to the ball, plays it out to Latti Fairweather on this left hand side. Now Ben Jackson delivers it into the box, cleared away, flips on, the shot comes in from Marriott, but a foul has been given against Barrow and it will be a free kick.
I don't know if they have gone to a bit of a back 4 here, Adam, with Jackson pushing up wide on this left hand side, Whitfield on the other as a wide forward. Crankshaw, Marriott and MJ Williams in the midfield 3. To try something.
Free kick to be taken here by Arthur Nastor. 67th minute, and all you can hear inside Holker Street are the 81 Hornchurch supporters over on that far side. that are lapping up every second of this. We said this is a team that are not just coming into the National League to make up the numbers. Last week's victory against Kidderminster showed the ability that they possess. And Barrow have just not got to grips with them in the second half. Here comes Lati Fairweather. Good run forward from him. Gets it under control. Feeds it inside to Crankshaw. Back out to Marcel Oakley. Now out to Ben Whitfield on this right-hand side. Trying to make something happen here for Barrow. Edge of the box. Delivers it into the middle. Marriott heads it on. Crankshaw goes to ground. Just couldn't get it under control. Lost his footing. It was a great opportunity for Barrow, which they've not taken.
Yeah. Looked like Marriott had more time than he thought he had, so he could have probably brought it down and got a shot off, where he's tried. It's a great cushioned header, to be fair to him, but then Crankshaw's got the opportunity to run onto it and hit it first time and chooses not to.
There's Lati Fairweather. Inside it goes to MJ Williams. Now Xavier Benjamin. Back out to Marcel Oakley on that right hand side. Back it goes again to Xavier Benjamin. They are still in that back three, Barrow, aren't they? It's Lati Fairweather who's playing that left side centre half. Back outside it goes now to Jackson, who'll bring it forward here. It's got Lati Fairweather alongside him. Inside to Marriott. Gets away from Powell. Back out to Jackson again. There was no one on the overlap. And Jackson's ball forward goes out of play and it goes for a goal kick.
Fairweather did try and make that move in there. Didn't quite come off.
Barrow making another change here.
Just looking at it now, I don't know if he's gone Benjamin and Callum Byers are two central defenders, with Fairweather as a bit of a left back and Oakley as a bit of a right back.
Danny Rose comes on to replace Ollie Crankshaw. In the 69th minute here for Barrow, they need to find something here. They need to get back in this game somehow. Trailing by 2-0 as Nasta receives the ball and gets ready to take this goal kick here for the visitors. Attendance of 2,388, but the 2,307 home supporters at the minute are subdued, and you can't blame them for what they've been seeing in the second half.
No, and again, you've got to give credit to Hornchurch, because they've come with a game plan. First half, be really difficult to break down, and then second half, they've changed the personnel, changed the shape, and they've got at Barrow, and Barrow haven't coped with it, and we've seen an absolute beautifully struck opener, and then a really well taken second goal on the counter-attack.
Henry Hearn drops to the ground on the halfway lines. Need of the medical team to come on to see to him. Hornchurch are preparing another change over on that far side. Workington have got a goal back against Guiseley. Matty Douglas has got the goal to make it 2-1 the scoreline in that game at Derwent Park. Here, Barrow still trailing by 2-0. And we're going to see that Hornchurch change now with the goal scorer of that second goal, Henry Hearn, making way. And coming on in his place is going to be Asher Yearwood.
He's had an excellent game, Hearn, for me. His work rate, his desire to make it as difficult as possible for the Barrow defensive unit. He's ran channels, shown that composure in the final third as well.
Every bit of what you want from your number 9, isn't it?
Absolutely,
your central striker.
Yeah.
Here come Hornchurch again. Yearwood. Back out it goes to Weston. Sandback just steps over the ball. Barrow will pick up the pieces. Back to MJ Williams. Switches it across to the right hand side. Marcel Oakley now will carry it forward. Now Ben Whitfield has to come into a central position here for Barrow, and it's now back with Xavier Benjamin. Back out to MJ Williams. Down the line it goes for Oakley. Now Marriott. Much better from Barrow. It's delivered into the box, but it's straight into the hands of Arthur Nasta.
Yeah, again, it's just that quality in that final third, isn't it? That final pass, the final cross, the final decision, still a little bit lacking.
Liverpool have taken the lead against Aldershot. We'll know the scoreline there. Elsewhere in the National League, it's Halifax 1, Bournemouth 2, Gateshead 2, Woking 0, Kidderminster 0, Eastleigh 0, Solihull 0, Boston 2, Southend 1, Scunthorpe 0, Sutton 1, Altrincham 0, Tamworth 1, Fylde 2, Wealdstone 1, Harrogate 2, Worthing 1, Forest Green 1, and Yeovil still leading by a goal to 0 against Carlisle United, but they are down to 10 men in the second half in that one, Yeovil. Here at Holker Street, 71 minutes played, and it is the visitors Hornchurch who lead by 2-0. Second half goals from Joe Kizzy, an absolute wonder strike on 57 minutes, followed up by a counter-attack goal with Henry Hearn Again in the second. It's just 5 minutes later. Barrow in possession here with MJ Williams. Plays a 1-2 with Marriott. Now back with Xavier Benjamin. Sends it out to Oakley on that right hand side. Now Ben Whitfield. Slips, loses his footing, and Barrow lose possession. And a free kick given against Barrow as well, just to rub the salt into the wounds even further.
Yeah, they've just gone flat, haven't they, really, Barrow? They've not looked like... The changes haven't looked to inject any form of enthusiasm or energy into the players, and certainly not the supporters. Hornchurch well in control of this game now.
Yeah, messages coming in from, you would say, worried supporters at this present moment in time. Paul says, I feel sorry for you two being forced to watch Barrow this last 12 months or so. At least I can decide to stay away, says Paul. Matty Maynard says, thought Barrow were front-footed in that first half without really creating anything and expected us to take it up a gear, but we've put it in reverse. Hate to refer back to it, but that second goal had echoes of last season. Truly terrible, says Matty. They've got more defending to do here now, Barrow, in the 73rd minute, because it's a free kick in a very good position here for Hornchurch. And they're throwing the bodies into the penalty area. Barrow have left 3 forward. Whipped into the box. Bobbles around everywhere in the penalty area. And again, Barrow just didn't deal with it. And it's behind for the Hornchurch corner.
You know, they seem to have lost quite a lot of composure defending, don't they? So... Talk about forwards keeping composure in 1v1 situations and tight areas to find the finishes. Defenders have got to do the same thing when it's getting pressurised, and they just haven't done that. Oakley was a prime example from the second goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, chance from the corner here for Hornchurch in the 74th minute. Whipped into the box, good delivery. Winterbottom gets up, gathers it up again in 2 hands. But there's just nothing for him in terms of a counter-attack. He was wanting to get it forward.
I do get that though, but we've got 3 players up the top, so if that's how we're setting up, he's got to get it in hand and go, and then it's up to everybody else to get up and support.
Lifted forward, doesn't drop for Whitfield, it does drop for Danny Rose. Back out to Marcel Oakley on this right hand side. Back out it goes again, this time for Ben Whitfield. Dances away from danger, gets to the edge of the box, takes a shot on goal, Ben Whitfield, but it was always rising. Goes over the bar and out for a goal kick to Hornchurch.
Yeah, again, just go back to decision making. Cutting into numbers. Difficult to shoot from there, but we looked at Hornchurch's first one, didn't we? And shot from distance and found the top corner. So I suppose if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
And someone's just booted a stray ball onto the pitch, so that has to be taken off again before the goal kick can be taken here for Arthur Astor. 15 minutes plus stoppage time left here. And you've got to say the first task that this Barrow team needs to do is find something to lift this crowd, because it is horribly subdued at the minute.
It's massively subdued, and again, Hornchurch have done their job. They've quietened the crowd.
Ben Whitfield on this right hand side, carrying the ball forward. Marcel Oakley around him, whipped into the box. Again, no one there to win the first contact for Barrow, and Hornchurch will try and shepherd it out of play. They don't. Back into the box from Ben Jackson, cleared. Comes back to Isaac Marriott. Now Thierry Fairweather. Back out to Jackson again, trying to find space to cross. Marriott, Latty Fairweather steps into the box, goes to ground, penalty to Barrow. Latty Fairweather tumbled, and Barrow had the chance in the 76th minute with a penalty.
I couldn't see it because of the pillar, so it'd be interesting to see that one again. But that was better play from Barrow. It was short, sharp passes, little reverse passes, combinations between 3 players, difficult to defend against. He's looked quite good actually, Fairweather, since he's come on. He's looked to get them driving runs going forward.
It's going to be Innes Cameron that's going to take it straight to the ball, picked it up, puts it down on the spot. And Innes Cameron is going to be the man to try and put Barrow back in this game in the 76th minute here at Holker Street. 2-0 the scoreline. Can Barrow find that way back in now? They've been given an opportunity. The foul on Latty Fairweather. Blow the whistle from Andrew Miller. Innes Cameron strides up for Barrow. It's a great penalty from Innes Cameron. High over the top of the hand of Arthur Astor into the left hand corner. And in the 77th minute, Barrow are back in this game. It's Innis Cameron, it's Barrow 1, Hornchurch 2.
Yeah, really well struck penalty. Goalkeeper no chance. Now Barrow really need to push from this. You can see the Hornchurch defenders now doing the calming sort of hand gestures. Barrow need to really see how Hornchurch deal with the pressure now.
Barrow back in this game. Innis Cameron with only his second goal for the club overall. And they're going to make a change as well, Barrow, with Ben Jackson coming off and Katia Kiarte, the forgotten man, you could maybe say, at Holker Street. Didn't make a single appearance last season. He's had a couple of loan spells as well. He's going to be the man to come on here in the 77th minute. Barrow back in the game. Can they make it count? As Latty Fairweather heads it on. Challenge from MJ Williams. Barrow want the throw. Referee says no. It's going to be a throw into Hornchurch. We've got a game on our hands here, Craig.
We have now, yeah. And we just want to see Barrow now try and apply some pressure, try and build from scoring that goal. They say that you're the most vulnerable after you've just scored, don't they? But Barrow need to do the opposite of that and show that they've got the momentum.
Kiarte gets up with a header. Flicks off the top of Jack Powell's head and Danny Rose can clear. Picked up by Jack Baldwin, who sends it forward, and Latty Fairweather straight into the action again for Barrow. Just couldn't get it clear. Sam that gets it on the edge of the box for Hornchurch. Barrow again, it's scrappy. Managing to clear the lines again, and now Marriott can get it out to Marcel Oakley, and there's a bit more space opening up. Out to Ben Whitfield on that right hand side. Needs options around him. Oakley continues his run into the feet of Marcel Oakley. Now Danny Rose. Suddenly Barrow are alive. Into the box from Rose, headed away.
Just felt each pass was a little bit slower than the first one, and it just sort of killed any momentum Barrow had moving forward, but they've managed to keep possession again.
Latty Fairweather back out to Kiarte again on this left hand side for Barrow, just looking for options around him again. He's got two men in front of him. Kiarte tries to get in between both Miles Weston and Asher Goodyear for the visitors. Couldn't, and in the end the clearance comes off Callum Bay and it goes out of play for a Hornchurch throw inside the Barrow half.
He was favourite to get to that, wasn't he, Callum Bay? And he kind of made himself lesser and lesser favourite to win it, and then gave a throw-in away, and there was no need to.
Kendall 2-0 up in the FA Vars. Jason Walker, the man himself, grabbing the second goal. Charlie Pegram coming on in place of Henry Sandat, the change for Hornchurch. With the visitors still leading by 2-1. All the goals coming in the second half here at Holker Street as Miles Weston lifts it forward. Callum Bay gets up, gets his head onto it, cleared away by Xavier Benjamin to stop it going for a corner. Latty Fairweather couldn't keep it in play, and it goes out for a Hornchurch throw on this right hand side. 10 minutes plus stoppage time left here in this game. Can Barrow find something, find at least an equaliser from it to get a point from the game? Challenge from Pegram, comes across and it's into the hands of Ben Winterbottom, who rolls it out to the right hand side for Xavier Benjamin. Marcel Oakley making a run outside him, comes to Oakley now just behind the halfway line. MJ Williams in the middle, comes back once again here to Xavier Benjamin. Low ball into Danny Rose, lifts it forward, but again it's cut out well by Samling, the left back for Hornchurch. Pegram trying to get there, but it's Xavier Benjamin who just sends it back to Callum Bailey, and now it'll go all the way back once more to Ben Winterbottom. Over the halfway line, onto the head of Joe Kizzy, the man who started us off in the second half. That wonder strike on 57 minutes to give Hornchurch the lead. Now Raitt rolls it towards the edge of the box. It's blocked by Xavier Benjamin. Barrow again losing out, but the free kick comes
looked a bit
in
soft,
favour of Barrow there for, as you say, a soft challenge on Marcel Oakley.
Yeah, I think Hornchurch have responded well to conceding. They've made it difficult for Barrow to build on that momentum, and Barrow have been quite sloppy since the goal.
Out to the left-hand side it goes for Chiarte. Lati Fairweather outside him. Now it is Lati Fairweather. Low ball into the box. Powell gets a touch onto it, stops it going for the corner. In fact, he doesn't stop it going for the corner because he slices his clearance, and it does eventually go for a corner to Barrow.
Yeah, and it's not like he was under much pressure there either. Got his technique all wrong.
Ben Whitfield comes from right to left to take it here for Barrow in the 82nd minute now here at Holker Street. Barrow trailing by 2-1. Whitfield swings the corner into the box. High delivery, but it's great goalkeeping again from Arthur Nasty.
Yeah, when the ball's looped in like that, it's much easier for the goalkeeper to track the flight of it and then make that decision, which he did really well. Great hands under pressure too.
Lifts the ball forward. It's a long, lofted ball, and Yearwood will try and get onto it here. Lati Fairweather is tussling with him, gets out ahead of him, knocks it back inside to his goalkeeper Ben Winterbottom, who hits it first time, comes off the top of the header rate. It's flicked on by Whitfield, doesn't quite drop for Innes Cameron, who was busting a gut to get in behind the Hornchurch defence, and they clear it away, and it's back with Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal. 2-1 the scoreline, 83rd minute. Match day 2 of this National League campaign. Well, trying to ensure that they don't finish with back-to-back defeats after the opening 2 games of their return to the 5th tier of English football. Callum Bailly back outside to Chiarte, trying to find a way to get around. Weston blocking his path. Chiarte's got it across, and nobody could get on the end of it at the back post. Danny Rose wants a penalty. Referee says no. Cleared away. It's a great ball across in the end from Chiarte. Just dying for someone to get a touch onto it.
Yeah, I just don't think he sorts his feet out.
Whitfield back into the box it goes again. Again it's cleared away. And now Samling gets it by the corner flag, and he'll clear it to the safety of the halfway line for Hornchurch.
Yeah, he's trying to claim he was fouled, but I just don't think he sorts his feet out quickly enough.
Callum Bailly with a wild crossfield pass, giving Chiarte no chance whatsoever. And it goes out of play, and it is going to be a Hornchurch throw. 84th minute. Just seeing the video replay of it now.
I don't think he sorts his feet out, Adam.
It was a great chance for Barrow that they just needed to take advantage of. They didn't. Hornchurch taking the time with the throw. Referee does start the count probably a bit late than what he maybe should have there, the referee. Either way, the throw-in is rushed, and Barrow have it back in their possession.
He seems more focused on where the ball's placed for a corner, doesn't he, than time wasting. Callum
Bailly back out to Laddie Fairweather on this left-hand side. He's certainly made a difference since coming on, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's very forward-thinking, isn't he? Strong, athletic, strides forward.
Marcel Oakley on the right. Sends it forward. Whitfield's offside. There'll be a free kick to Hornchurch, who are preparing their final changes over on that far side. A double change in the offing for the visitors. Now their second game at this level of football. But it's that keyword momentum, isn't it? It shows what having that kind of momentum can do for you. The promotion that they had, followed up by that great opening day victory. And, you know, we said how crucial the start of the game would be for Barrow in trying to drown out that enthusiasm. They haven't done it, and they've given Hornchurch every opportunity to build on that momentum.
Absolutely, Adam, yeah, and you could see they had that approach to the game where first half be difficult to break down, bank of 5, bank of 4 with leaving Hearn up top, frustrate, counter. Second half changed the shape a little bit, a bit more front footed, and Barrow couldn't deal with it, whereas Barrow, from what we've seen in pre-season, everything you've talked about from the Hartlepool game and what I've seen today, it's nothing like what we've seen in pre-season.
Jack Powell coming off to be replaced by Bobby Kelman. He's the first of the changes, and we're also seeing Miles Weston make way, and he's going to be replaced by Will Greenidge. He's going to come on for him, so that is a more defensive-minded substitution with Greenidge, the right-sided defender, coming on. Throw in to Hornchurch, 86th minute. About to enter into the 87th minute here. One throw into the box. It's just going to run through to Ben Winterbottom in the Barrow goal.
He's got to drive now.
Drops it at the feet of Lati Fairweather, and Chiarte starts to make a run forward. Lati Fairweather goes inside to MJ Williams. Now Isaac Marriott. Crossfield ball out to the right for Oakley, who gets it down under control, but he's got Charlie Pegram in front of him. Inside it goes for Marriott. Lifts the ball forward, but it just runs all the way through on a play for a goal kick. Workington have turned things around in their game against Guiseley. Luke Hunter with the goal to give Workington an equaliser in that game, 2-all the scoreline. Now we need a bit of that lady luck to shine down here with 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. And where's the count? Where is the count from this referee?
Because the goalkeeper, again, clever. Inez Cameron put the ball on one side of the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper's picked it up and walked to the other side to put it down, and then took another 15 seconds to take it.
Callenby gets it back to Winterbottom, cleared forward. It's Hornchurch, who again gambling on that loose ball, but it's back into the hands of Ben Winterbottom. Rolls it out to the right for Marcel Oakley. Samling standing his ground, and Oakley will play it off him and a play for a Barrow throw.
And this is the frustrating thing, Adam, is all we're getting from our lawmakers is they want to speed the game up, and what we're witnessing today is the refs allowing the game to be slowed down. And don't get me wrong, if Barrow were in Hornchurch's position, they'd be doing exactly the same thing. But the nonsense that we get from these new laws coming in to make the game better, they're just not covered by the referees, or not enforced, should I say.
Well, again from Hornchurch over on that far side to keep possession. Forward it goes, and a foul on the Xavier Benjamin from Bobby Kelman. Benjamin just having a little bit of a nibble at Kelman there as he was getting up to his feet, and it gets the Hornchurch bench up on their feet over on the far side, and the referee Andrew Miller will call the two players together just to have a little word into the ears. 89th minute here. Barrow chasing an equaliser, 2-1 the scoreline. Kizzy on 57 minutes, Hearn on 62 for the visitors. Innes Cameron on 76 from the penalty spot, giving Barrow away back in. Long ball into the box, header away by Ryan Innes. Barrow again trying to work it forward, but challenge comes in, it's cleared. Flicked on there by Callum Bay. Now Benjamin. MJ Williams beaten to the second ball. Callum Bay will get onto it. Now Isaac Marriott back to Callum Bay, but Barrow being pushed all the way back. It's now back with them, with Ben Winterbottom. Cross to Xavier Benjamin. To enter into the last minute of the 90. Interesting to see how much stoppage time we'll have at the end of this game, as Barrow look for Ben Whitfield, but again he's just too far behind the ball. Cleared away. Xavier Benjamin again tussling, and that's silly by Xavier Benjamin, and it's right under the nose of the referee.
But it's
only a yellow card.
Yeah, the way the Hornchurch player falls to the floor is ridiculous. He should get a yellow card as well, to be fair, and he has. That's good. But Benjamin, again, it was a bit like Callum Bay before, makes a situation that he's in control of more difficult for himself. It's just infuriating to watch, if I'm being honest, where they're in control of a situation, but it's like they want to show that they're physically stronger than the opposition. So instead of being in control of a situation, they create a situation where they can show the strength.
Throw-in taken by Hornchurch towards the corner, and Kelman and Benjamin again are the ones tussling together. Both on yellow cards, of course, after the last altercation. Teleplay for another Hornchurch throw. And we're into stoppage time now. 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played at the end of this game. And ball cleared by Benjamin. MJ Williams. Isaac Marriott gets it out to this left-hand side for Lati Fairweather. Needs options in front of him. Everybody is inside the Hornchurch half, but there's no one directly in front of Lati Fairweather. Back it goes to Callum Bay. Now Xavier Benjamin. And Lati Fairweather will make his way up now. Benjamin with the ball forward out to the right hand side, looking for Oakley. It's cut out by Samling. Clean out of play for a throw into Barrow. Into stoppage time here at the end of this game, where Barrow trail by 2-1. Throw-in taken, into the box it goes, headed away. Callum Bay back out to MJ Williams. Now Marcel Oakley. Oakley delivers into the box, comes to Lati Fairweather, couldn't get it down under control, does come into the area, Isaac Marriott then goes to ground, but again Barrow just couldn't get the shot away. And now Hornchurch come forward again, and they've got a chance to kill this game off. Rolled into the box, and Lati Fairweather gets there for Barrow and gets it away.
Just again disappointing in the final third from Barrow, just maybe too urgent to try and make something happen, and then looking vulnerable on the counter-attack.
It's going to be a Hornchurch throw on this right hand side, which Will Greenedge is going to take. Down the line it goes. We've played 2 minutes of the additional time. We've still got 2 minutes left, but the ball is firmly inside the Barrow half here, and there's frustrations being shown. Yearwood with a throw, comes to the edge of the box. Pegram picks it up right on the edge of the penalty area, checks back on himself. Barrow just can't get the ball away from Hornchurch.
Fantastic there.
Held up in the corner by Josh Walker, and Barrow just can't get the ball away from him. They've got themselves a throw in, but it's firmly inside their own half here on this left hand side. Into the box it goes for MJ Williams. Now back to Ben Winterbottom, closed down by Bobby Kelman. MJ Williams fouled, free kick to Barrow, but it's inside their own penalty box.
It's great game management from Josh Walker there, just making it so difficult for Barrow to get the ball off him going into that corner, and then Barrow caused their own problems by playing short and slowly in their own defensive area.
And as Cameron heads the ball on, trying to get Danny Rose in. It's a panic clearance from Ryan Innes, who's checking back to try and keep it in play. All he can do is clear it out of play.
Yeah, talking about
it's
making
gone for
life
a corner.
more difficult for yourself. Again, another one, just lack of composure on the technique to clear.
Corner in the 94th minute here for Barrow. Can they find that equaliser right in the last minute of stoppage time? Ben Whitfield with the corner, swings it into the box, header comes in, it's cleared off the line, comes back to MJ Williams, poked out trying to find Danny Rose, cleared behind, another Barrow corner.
Yeah, great defending, resolute defending from Hornchurch, bodies on the line, blocks in.
Ben Whitfield comes across to take it again on this right hand side. 15 seconds left of the additional 4. Whitfield floats it into the box. First contact comes to Hornchurch, picked up by Lati Fairweather. They need to get it back into the middle. Barrow, they can't. Bobby Kelman slows him down. It's going to be a Hornchurch throw, and you'd imagine that'll be it as soon as Hornchurch release this ball. The countdown will begin. Hornchurch will sprint across to pick up the ball. Throw in taken, and that's it. And the boos from the home supports. It's back-to-back defeats on their return to the National League. They just couldn't find their way to get that equaliser in the end. But for the 81 Hornchurch supporters over on the far side, they're going to enjoy every second of this, Greg. But from the Barrow perspective, they just didn't do enough.
Oh no, to be fair, credit where credit due. Hornchurch have come with a game plan there today. Be difficult to break down in that first half. A bank of 5, bank of 4 in front of that, and be so difficult to break down and frustrate Barrow, which they did in the first half. Then they changed that shape in the second half, and they went for it, and they were the team that looked like they were front-footed and wanted to win it, and that's the opposite of what Barrow were for me, second half. And this is the issue the supporters are going to have when they're getting told that this team's going to be a front foot team, it's going to get in phases, it's going to be physical. And to be fair, we saw it pre-season, but as we've said, the pressure of pre-season is completely different to the pressure of games, and Barrow, unfortunately, we haven't seen what we've been told we're going to see and what we saw in pre-season, and the fans won't deal with that, or won't have the patience for that the longer that happens.
It's going to be the big frustration, isn't it? Because I mean, even the factor of first half to second half, we probably saw a lot more in the first half from Barrow to what we said in the second half, and there's a bit of an altercation going on now again on the halfway line, and Xavier Benjamin involved in it, and the Hornchurch players coming across to try and intervene, and there's Barrow players dragging Xavier Benjamin away. from the proceedings at the minute.
Yeah, it looks like he just can't keep his emotions in check, doesn't he, Benjamin? And you can see that in a lot of his play. But yeah, going back to what we were saying before, Adam, I think first half Barrow were probably the better side, you could say. They created more of the chances, but I think the way Hornchurch approached it, they were quite happy to give up the ball in the first half, and a lot of Barrow's shots came from distance, as we said. They had 2 huge chances in the first half, with Gordon not managing to get a foot on across and Scott Smith running onto one and opening his foot up too much to put it wide. But other than that, second half we won the penalty, we had a little scramble at the end there where Hornchurch defended really well. So the question is, have we been front-footed? Have we seen that aggression that we've seen in pre-season? And I put my head on the parapet. No, I don't think we have.
Yeah, Adam Murray looking rather unconsoled there as he's walking off alongside his assistant Andy Taylor over on that far side. Barrow players slowly trudging off the pitch themselves now. Interesting to hear the reaction from Adam Murray when we do speak to him after the game. At the minute, he's just stood with his assistant Andy Taylor as the Barrow bench and the rest of the Barrow staff make their way down the tunnel. The players there as well. Does look interesting, doesn't it, seeing the two of them in deep conversation. You do imagine there's going to be some choice words potentially in that dressing room when they do go off there.
Well, I'd hope so, because we can't accept a second half like that moving forward in this season. And we said at the start, didn't we, the points tally that teams need to go up automatically. I mean, none of us have even talked about Barrow going up automatically, have we? We've talked about them making the playoffs, but with performances like that, which is the totally opposite of what we've seen pre-season, it's worrying. I'm worried now after the defeat at Hartlepool, which you can say was a free hit because Hartlepool are promotion favourites, but a newly promoted team come into Holker Street and we've seen probably that soft little underbelly that we saw a lot of last season.
Yeah, certainly with a tough task ahead as well for Barrow. They make the trip to what is looking like a very 3-scoring Harrogate in their next game. They're 3-1 up away at Wealdstone at this moment in time on the back of that 5-2 victory on the opening day of the season. Whatever it is, Barrow need to find it very, very fast with that game coming up on the horizon. So we'll get you the reaction from the Barrow management team as soon as we can here at Holker Street. Carlisle have equalised in stoppage time against Yeovil, 1-1 the scoreline there. We're going to head to Yeovil for the remainder of that game, and unfortunately it comes after defeat here at Holker Street. Their opening home game of the campaign for Barrow. It's 2 defeats from 2 at the start of the National League season. It's finished Barrow 1, Hornchurch 2.
Back underway. He might add a bit on at the end here. I don't see why he adds much. There was 6 seconds to go when Carlisle scored, and that's it. Carlisle get a point. They left it late, they laboured, they were not at their best, they were nowhere near. They'll have more reinforcements potentially back for Hornchurch in a week's time, or under a week, the 12:30 kick-off at Brunton Park. The most sensible amongst Carlisle fans who you spoke to in the build-up to this one, Chris Beard, said, I'd take a point here, won't be easy, and then get back to Brunton Park and try and get that first win. And by hook or by blooming late crook, they've done it.
Yeah, you've got to say it's almost a get out of jail free card, isn't it? Because should have done better when they've gone down to sort of 10 men. Didn't really create enough, really, for lots of opportunities, a lot of time in the second half. Sometimes we're a little bit impatient in and around the box. Sometimes the crosses, were of poor quality or too close to the goalkeeper, who, to be fair for Yeovil, has come and snatched everything when it's gone in the box. But again, just at the right time, right at the end of the game, Nicholson's whipped a great left-footed cross into the goal, glancing header to make it 1-1. And you've got to say, and save the day really, because that was a very difficult game for Carlisle to be involved in.
Yeah, it really was. Nothing about it was the sort of composure we've hoped for. I mean, in the end, when you look at the stats, Carlisle United, especially after the red card, I think it's 10 shots, 5 on target they had at the end of it. The stats here are a bit hit and miss. I suspect Carlisle's will be more accurate in terms of what we're looking at, what's been provided by whoever it is doing them here. But they definitely added a lot, which kind of made it look like they'd done better all game than they had, but they didn't. A lot of them were pot shots and hopeful and not very good and scragged this and that, and none of it felt wildly inspired until just that moment, the cross from Nicholson, and as soon as the glance was on it, you knew it was going in. He was beating the keeper, he wasn't getting to that one.
No, absolutely, but you're exactly right in terms of what you said in terms of the quality of strikes on goal. previously weren't really there. It wasn't like the Worthing game where you're hitting the woodwork and you're a little bit unlucky and the better strikes on goal. This wasn't quite of that quality today. The final ball was lacking, or the final shot, it just wasn't quite there, and the crosses today weren't really up to standard until the last one, just to kind of save the day a little bit. But equally, it's 1-1. They've dragged the result out, and they've given something for those Carlisle fans to go up to the top of the country, with a bit of positivity this afternoon.
Yeah, and the Carlisle boss has gone right over to the Carlisle fans in the section of the stand we're in to the right, and I'm sure he'll go round to the ones in the terracing as well, and he's shaking the hands, he's going along, high-fiving and shaking hands with the Carlisle fans who are here. There'll be those on social media, etc., requesting in how well they've played, and they haven't played brilliantly today. They weren't as good as they were against Worthing, and yet they get a point on the road after a flop at home. So football's a funny game, but the Carlisle players all over with the fans, much better than it would have been 5 seconds earlier had that goal not have gone in and it was another defeat.
Yeah, again, would the manager be where he is now, shaking hands with fans and thanking them for the fantastic support and that massive journey? Because that would have been ugly at 1-0, playing against a team with 10 men. But nevertheless, the fair play to the manager and the players going over there to show the appreciation to the travelling Carlisle, faithful.
The drama, Chris, gives you that sense, the late drama, getting something when it looked like we were going to get nothing, gives you that kind of lift, doesn't it? That little bit of euphoria at the end of it. At the end, it's a battling point, isn't it, away from home against a title rival. On the face of it, that's not a bad result, but it doesn't tell the full story of the game, really.
No, it doesn't. And that little high at the end of the game kind of masks the lack of quality in front of goal, the poor crossing, maybe the real structure around the game plan and how they go and attack the game. Because it wasn't great for large periods of certainly the first half. It was a little bit better second half, but probably not good enough. But they've given a great opportunity, haven't they, when Yeovil got the man sent off. But again, really didn't deliver that quality in front of goal, did they? All right until the last sort of 6 seconds of the game, where they've really snatched a point here.
Another positive at the end of this all is another debut for another youth product in Jonah Lowe's coming on there, the number 25. Didn't look out of place, didn't do it. He was sort of involved in the move that led to the goal, so he could argue he played his part in that, but certainly you didn't look at him and think he's out of his depth or anything, which is positive.
Yeah, no, he looks technically very, very competent. His physique matches what's out there already. So I really hope it's an opportunity for him to go and build on that and go and make go and get a really good career in what he's doing. But again, I watched him as soon as he came on. His first touch was a great first touch. So that's nice and positive as you come and break into the game as a young player. And we wish him all the best, for the season forward. But again, it shows you that the manager's not scared to stick him on the pitch and go and trust him, which is great.
Do you look at Dubois and think he could have done any more with their goal, or do you think he was let down by Galvin's mess up, basically?
I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if your striker goes through one-on-one, you expect him to score a goal, don't you, really? But again, you have high expectations of the goalkeeper, especially when he's come in and he's got an opportunity there to go and be a hero as well, hasn't he? But again, you'd want your striker to score those positions.
And I thought that Skinner, we'd have to see it again to see whether the ball, just one of those where he leant back as it pitched away and it just got away from him, but looked like he could have netted his with almost his first touch of the game when the free kick fell to him after the keeper had spilt. Yeah, again, it's a good free kick by Linney, isn't it? With loads of pace, the goalkeeper's parried it, but again, Skinner's not quite there, as in it's one of them difficult ones where everybody's willing it to go in. He's desperate to get a decent contact on, and it almost looked as if he couldn't knee it or he couldn't get contact with his foot. It kind of fell in that sort of area, and that could have been the equaliser. And the full story there could have been they'd gone on to win 2-1, but as it happens, he didn't quite get there. But again, they've just snatched that point at the end of the game, and they live to breathe. And it would be great for the manager, because again, now he can look at what went wrong and the things that did go right, and go and build for the next one, because they need a good win for the next game, I think. It's been a pleasure to be in your company again. Chris Beard's been with us. He'll be with us for the rest of the show here into the post-match on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports. If you look at the nuance of it, there's plenty of it. This probably wasn't really good enough for Carlisle United in terms of their overall display. However, coming to a rival you'd expect in that hunt for promotion and getting a point on the road can never be a bad result. It has finished Yeovil 1, Carlisle 1, thanks to that late goal from Harvey Bunker.
It is a first point on the board, Chris. And look, United didn't play well at all today. There are still some obvious issues with that team, but for those players going into the dressing room after that game, that will almost feel like a win, won't it?
It will, but I think I think the manager will quickly remind them that the performance wasn't actually good enough. Even when Yeovil went down to 10 men, they weren't patient enough in and around the box in terms of keeping the ball, probing. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to happen, and then give possession away. So again, I think if the players are realistic, that isn't good enough for a Carlisle team really that really should be going and challenging for promotion. Simple as that.
Some of the reaction which is coming in. Ryan on X says, first bit of quality all game with the cross for Bunker's goal. Otherwise we created absolutely nothing and looked like we didn't have a spark. Need to be better, says Ryan. Weatherby Blue, lucky Carlisle. Dave says it was always going to be tough, but my goodness, we were terrible in the first 45. Better second half, but these owners need to get that checkbook out. Sellafield Toothy, serious work needed to make this iteration of the team successful. Linney totally out of form, players out of position and making mistakes. The owners need to put their hands in their pockets and sign something worth watching for the fans, as their decisions thus far have plunged us to the bottom echelons of the National League. Sellafield Toothy says this team is a million miles away from League 2 currently. Just on players being played out of position, James, your opinion on the switch of wings for Linney and Ajiboye? Is it working in your opinion?
It's hard, I mean, not today, that's for sure. I thought they were a bit uninspired today, but I think the Galvin mistake just took the wind out of their sails a bit, and they struggled psychologically, mentally a little to recover and get back into their stride. Yeovil were the better side for a good period of the game. United were just coming a bit better again round, perhaps from sort of 55 onwards, so maybe 10 into the second half, and when the red card came for them, it was because United were growing. But yeah, they're not getting the best out of Ajiboye and Linney, but you need other options, don't you? If they had sort of somebody else coming on to give one of them a break, the other one might then wind up being, with fresh legs on one side, the one on the other side might get a bit more space. Yeovil wound up, especially after the red card, doing a lot of every man back, which takes away some of the space for those two to get into. I prefer to see Linney left, Ajiboye right, but they're obviously trying to free Linney up to be able to float and come into positions where he can do more damage. At the moment, he isn't doing enough damage, and neither is Ajiboye, who's kind of a left wing back for Carlisle. So I think I've talked around in circles there, but Paul, I guess ultimately the answer is no.
OK, more reaction to come in the post-match between now and 6 o'clock. Carlisle fans already getting in touch in their numbers, not surprisingly. Not convincing once again from Rob Elliott's side today, but they do rescue a point with virtually the last play of the game. 1-1 it's finished at Hewish Park. It's ended 2-1 in favour of Hornchurch at Holker Street. Back-to-back defeats for Adam Murray's Bluebirds to begin the new season. Watching this one's been Adam Johnson and Craig Rutherford.
Yeah, full time here at Holker Street, and it is the National League newcomers Hornchurch celebrating their second victory in succession at the start of the new National League season with that 2-1 victory. A first half where Hornchurch did have the ball in the back of the net, a flighted cross from Miles Weston finding the head of Henry Sander, only for it to be disallowed for offside. It was the first half where Barrow did create a number of half opportunities, but just didn't do enough to find their way beyond Arthur Nastor in the Hornchurch goal. Second half, Hornchurch made a change at the break, bringing on some extra support for Henry Hearn up top, Josh Walker coming on for Nathan Ferguson, and Barrow just couldn't seem to get their head around the change in shape for Hornchurch, and on 57 minutes they opened the scoring. A cross in the box which Barrow didn't deal with, came out to the edge, and Joe Kizzy let fly with a amazing strike into the top corner of the goal, giving Ben Winterbottom no chance to put Hornchurch in front. Barrow would throw bodies forward to try and find that equaliser, and from a free kick they were given a great opportunity. Hornchurch cleared the lines, and on 62 minutes it would be them that would grab the second goal. A counter-attack after Marcel Oakley failed to win the header on the halfway line. It was Henry Sander again, the man driving forward from a central position, rolled it across for Henry Hearn to tap it into the empty net to send the 81 visiting supporters into absolute delirium over on the far side. Barrow made changes and eventually got their way back in the game on 76 minutes. Latty Fairweather brought down in the box. Innes Cameron, the man to step up to put the penalty beyond the reach of Arthur Nastor to put Barrow back in the game, but ultimately didn't do enough to turn around the scoreline. Danny Rose should have done better with a cross in the box, didn't get on the end of it at the back post, and then eventually from a last minute corner, cleared off the line, and Barrow just again couldn't find the way to force it beyond the reach of Nasta. And ultimately, Craig, it's frustration in the crowd today because we've not seen what we saw in pre-season from this Barrow team, which is, the genuine concern, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, and I think, you could say don't get too down because it's only the second game of the season, but this crowd have had a year of Holker Street being an easy place to come from opposition, and they've been told that it's not going to be this season, and to be fair, did Hornchurch find that difficult today? I'm going to say no. I don't think we were as front-footed as them. We weren't as in your face as we've seen pre-season. Decision making in the final third let us down quite a bit. The difference from our first half positivity to the second half was quite worrying. The fact that we couldn't deal with their change of shape was worrying. He's got a lot to think about, and if he said he learnt a lot after the Hartlepool game, it's going to be interesting to see what he's learnt after this one.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting to see exactly what has been said as well during the half-time team talk. We will hear, of course, from Adam Murray at some point before the end of the show, but he was stood with his assistant Andy Taylor for some time as the rest of the players made their way off the pitch and down the tunnel, and even after they went down the tunnel he was still stood in deep conversation with his coaching staff on the edge of the area before eventually going down the tunnel himself. So it will be interesting to hear exactly what was said during that full-time period, but ultimately the crowd did a lot of the talking themselves. Rapturous boos as the players left the field at the end of the game after what can only be described as a poor second half display from Adam Murray's side. A lot of talking points, a lot of things really that they need to get their head around going forward, because they've got another difficult game coming up in a week's time with that trip to Harrogate, and it comes after back-to-back defeats, a 2-1 defeat against the newcomers Hornchurch, the latest of those.
OK, reaction to come as well from the Bluebirds camp over the next 50 minutes. Let's continue with the full times. Workington rescuing a point, their first of the new season in NPL Premier. It could have been even better. 2-2 the final score against Guiseley. Jordan Weir.
It certainly could have been even better, Paul, but Workington did grab their first point of the season as Billy Barr's side overcome a 2-0 half-time deficit to missing a penalty in the final minute of regular time to be a whisker away from their first victory of the campaign. The visitors were the much better side in the first half, with early chances showing the danger of the visitors. They took the lead in the 18th minute as Adam Martin headed in at the back post, beating Alex Mitchell following a Lucas Oddinston cross. Their lead was doubled in the 32nd minute through Cameron Wilson from the penalty spot. Kai Nugent fouled Amir Birchall, clipping the forward's heels. Wilson slotting the ball in the right hand side corner. Could have been 3 or 4 at the break, but Jack Tinkler hit the post and Jay Rawlins shooting over the bar. That final action of the first half saw Brendan Dickinson 20 yards out 3 kick, which went high and wide over the bar. The second half was a much different story, a true tale of two halves. An early penalty shout turned down for Billy Barr's side as a deflected touch hit the Guiseley's man hand in the first minute of the half, but the shouts would immediately wave the way. Luke Hunter had a shot saved that went along the floor around about the hour mark, but minutes later Reds halved their deficit thanks to an unlikely source. It was a long throw-in that was headed on from Charlie Barnes, landing at the feet of Matty Douglas, who turned on his heels and got the shot away. It went across the keeper Jack Hall into the right hand side corner. Reds continued on top after that, either side of a lengthy stoppage which led to 6 minutes of stoppage time. The home side equalised 4 minutes from the end of the 90 as Luke Hunter got his first goal as a permanent Reds player. A run into box saw the opportunity open up and his shot went through Jack Hall to level the scores, just going over the line. Reds had that chance to win it in the final minute of the 90 from the penalty spot as Dan Hopper was brought down in the area. Hunter stepped up and struck it down the middle, but it was saved by Jack Hall. Legs over the bar for the last real opportunity of the game. The question we'll be asking the Reds manager, is it a point gained or is it 2 points lost? It'll be interesting to see what answers we get from that. Full time here at Derwin Park. It's finished. Workington 2, Guiseley 2.
Let's finish on a high in our fourth game we've been covering this afternoon. FA Vars progress for Kendalltown against Steeton. Gary Woodworth.
Yes, Kendalltown booking their place in the next round of the FA Vars against a resolute Steeton side who play in the North West Counties. Town dominated possession in the first half, but the goal took until just before half-time to come. And finally, it's the first goal in Kendalltown colours for their recent signing, Joe Wilkinson. As the keeper came rushing out to close him down, he pushed the ball past him, and even though the ball was going to roll home, decided to blast it into the back of the net anyway. Cue great celebrations. Kendall, as I say, dominated possession in the first half. half. Didn't create that much though. Joe Sowerby tried his luck across the face of goal. Jason Walker dinked a free kick wide, and the visitors had half chances themselves as well, including a turning shot from Abbas and a couple of half decent chances from Barnes. Into the second half, and Wilkinson almost made it 2 3 minutes after the break, looking to lob the keeper. It shows you what confidence can do for a player. And a couple of minutes after that, great control in the area from Wilkinson. His shot was blocked though, and it fell to Cowperthwaite, his effort crashing back off the crossbar. The second goal then would surely have sealed it. Matty Clark also went close, the keeper saving with his fingertips before on 79 minutes what proved to be the decisive goal. Left wing corner taken by Joe Dixon. Jason Walker getting free at the near post for flicked header to make it 2-0. Town could have been made to pay in that second period. Sleep into the corner. Barnes yet again had a great chance running onto the ball but ploughed it over the top. And then 2 minutes to stoppage time after Kendall Town had made plenty of substitutions. Christian Asamoah beat barely in off the keeper to make it 2-1. Kendall did hold out though to book a place in the next round of the FA Vars. They'll travel to Yarm and Eaglescliffe, also in this division, next time around. They won 1-0 at Fackley thanks to a late winner this afternoon. Full time here then in the FA Vars, Kendall Town 2, Steeton 1.
Let's bring you the full-time scores from today's National League fixtures. It ended Aldershot 0, Hartlepool 2, so back-to-back wins to begin the season for Lee Clark's side. As we've been hearing, Barrow 1, Hornchurch 2. Hornchurch also taking 6 points from their opening 2 games. FC Halifax 1, Bournemouth 3. Gateshead were 2-0 winners against Woking. It ended Kidderminster 1, Eastleigh 0. Solihull Moors 0, Boston 2. Southend were 1-0 winners against Scunthorpe. Sutton 1, Altrincham 0, Tamworth 1, AFC Fylde 2, Wilston 1, Harrogate 2, Worthing 1, Forest Green 2, and Yeovil 1, Cali United 1, as we've heard. Harvey Bunker with the goal literally seconds from the full-time whistle, salvaging a first point of the season for Rob Elliott's side, all of which means Harrogate are currently top, joint top on 6, 2 wins out of 2, along with Hornchurch, Sutton, Southend, Hartlepool and Forest Green Rovers. Bournemouth in 7th on 4 points. Carlisle on 17th, 1 point from their opening 2 games. Barrow in the relegation places, not surprisingly, one of 5 teams who are still on 0 points at the start of the season. Woking, Solihull, Altrincham and FC Halifax are those other teams who are yet to get off the mark this season. In the Championship opening weekend, it ended earlier today. Bolton 2, Preston 1. Bristol City 0, Millwall 2. Charlton 2, Derby 1. Middlesbrough came from behind to beat Lincoln 2-1. That's Lincoln's first defeat since November of last year, incredibly. Norwich 1, West Brom 2. Portsmouth 1, Queen's Park Rangers 3. And Stoke 1, Swansea 2. Kicking off at 5:30, so just under 15 minutes time. It's Sheffield United against Birmingham City. In League 1, the full times from earlier today: Notts County 1, Leicester 1, Oxford 2, MK Dons 2 and Reading 3, Luton 4. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Barnsley 0, Bromley 1, so Bromley getting off to a winning start following their promotion last season. Blackpool 1, Wycombe 1, Bradford 2, Peterborough 0, Burton 1, Stevenage 1, Cambridge 3, Wigan 2, Huddersfield 3, AFC Wimbledon 0, Leyton Orient 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Mansfield 2, Doncaster 1 and Plymouth 1, Stockport County 3. And in League 2 it ended Newport 3, Rochdale 0, Oldham 2, Port Vale 0, Accrington 2, Colchester 2, Barnet 3-1 winners against Salford, Cheltenham 2, Rotherham 1, Chesterfield 0, Fleetwood 1, Crawley 0, Crewe 1, Gillingham 0, Walsall 3, Grimsby 1, Exeter 0, Northampton 0, Swindon 0. Tranmere were 2-0 winners against Shrewsbury Town, and a winning return for York City back in the EFL. They were 3-2 winners against Bristol Rovers.
This team doesn't know what it's beating, does it? We're coming together as a squad. I'm happy with the point. We're starting to see the Barrow team really play for each other. An absolute mess from top to bottom.
Does it find a Carlisle man? Nicholson will manage to retrieve it. Far side of the penalty area. Turns it onto his left foot. Sends the cross in to the middle of the goal. Carlisle get the contact and score! They've equalised in the last seconds. 6 seconds on the clock to go when Bunker, who got an assist last week, gets the goal this. And Carlisle will surely finish game number 2 in the National League with a point. So late. 6 seconds to go. Bunker makes it Yeovil 1, Carlisle 1.
It's going to be Danny Amos, the man that's going to take it. Plenty of options inside the penalty area. Hornchurch have got everyone back inside the box. As Amos delivers it into the middle. Again, it's dealt with comfortably. Nobody attacking it in a black and white shirt. Hornchurch now are in a great position here, and it's going to be Sandat who's going to carry it, and Sandat still going with it, squares it across, chance for Hearn, 2-0 to Hornchurch, and Barrow from their own free kick. They've not dealt with the clearance, and Hornchurch lead by 2-0, and Barrow look nothing like the team that we saw here in pre-season.
Yeah, Barrow and Carlisle fans, if you want to get in touch to get involved in the post-match discussion between now and 6 o'clock, 81333 is the text number. Start your message with the word Cumbria at the beginning. The WhatsApp number is 08000 321 333. Again, put the word Cumbria at the beginning, and you can get in touch on X at BBC Cumbria Sport. Relieved angry Fosh is a Carlisle fan. Good point in the end, Fosh says, but square pegs in round holes again today. Why can't Elliott see what the rest of us can? Yes, we're struggling for numbers at the moment, but we have enough players to at least play in their proper positions. This season is already a shambles, says Fosh. We were rightfully told this is not Mike Williamson 2.0, yet here we are witnessing Mike Williamson 2.0, says Fosh. Another Carlisle fan, Robin, felt like it would have been a worrying game not to be able to get something from. Lucky to take a point today, but you need luck at the end of the season, says Robin, who's been at the game today. And Colby Hill Rich, I think that's a big goal for Carlisle in that. Hopefully it lifts spirits after what's been a shoddy start to the season, to say the least. Hopefully it will get us going. I still worry about the quality we've got at present. Need to get our key players back as soon as up the Blues, says Colby Hill Rich. Reaction to come from Huge Park and from Holker Street, surely. Let's just take you back to Parkside Road, where Kendal Town made it through to the FA Vase, or the next round of the FA Vase, a 2-1 win against Steeton this afternoon, Gary. Relief in the end, because it was just a bit too close for comfort, wasn't it?
Was a little bit. Kendal dominated the match. Probably should have been more than one up at half time. Totally dominant in terms of possession. Not too much on the end of it in that first period, but crucial that Joe Wilkinson got his first goal for the club just before the break to send them in one up. In the second half, with Matthew Clark pushed on further down the left-hand side, I thought they looked more dangerous. Again, Wilkinson in the end could have had a hat-trick, and now Calperway had the shot that came back off the crossbar. So they were pretty comfortable. I mean, the visitors, the chevrons from Steeton did dig in and made it as difficult as possible, and they got a late goal back in stoppage time when it was probably just a little bit too late for them. They also caught Kendal out a bit sloppily in the second half as well, sleeping at a corner kick. But in the end, no doubt the better team on the day won, and Kendal have a long trip in the next round. Jason Walker keeps rolling back the years, doesn't he, Gary? How much longer can he keep this up? Well, it's interesting. Presumably, if Conor Shields, as we were talking about earlier, if Conor Shields had signed or had stayed at the club, maybe he would have had fewer minutes for Jason Walker as well. But he had a good run out today, difficult managing the side, and playing up front as well for the first 80 minutes of the game. He did make one or two changes late on, which sort of unsettled the defence a little bit, I think. But yeah, he keeps plugging away. He told me last season he was hoping not to play too much. Now that he's 42, he said the same thing this season, but they seem to need him, and that calming influence he has up front and his ability to find other players is obviously crucial at this level as well. So yeah, very important member of the squad. So with Matt Flynn being away today, he was also in charge of the team too, so he's had a busy afternoon. Absolutely. So Kendal through to the next round of the FA Vase alongside Carlisle City, who were winners last night at Billingham Synthonia. But it's not been a good afternoon for Penrith, Gary, beaten again today. No, they've lost 3-0 at Easington, a game that was rearranged because neither side had an FA Vase game today. And unfortunately for Jim Nichols' side, that means that Easington have done the double over them in the league this season. And we're only, 4 weeks into the league, and that's already happened. So they lost 1-0 at home on the opening day of the season, and they lost again today 3-0 away from home. It's going to be difficult for them, but they've lost forward power, as we know. They got games coming up, Whitley Bay at home on Tuesday night, and then North Shields away coming up and Bishop Auckland away coming up. So it's been a difficult start to the season for Penrith, and of course with the dreadful news off the pitch as well, did not help. But they'll just have to battle away. As I say, they don't have all the forward options that they would like at Frenchfield, but they'll just keep battling on, I think. And hopefully when they get more players back after the holiday period, they'll be a bit more settled and can start to climb up the table.
OK, thanks Gary. Gary Woodworth, who's been at Pikeside Row this afternoon to see that 2-1 win for Kendal. Joe Wilkinson and Jason Walker, as we said, rolling back the years once again with the goals for Kendal this afternoon. Elsewhere, as we mentioned, Easington Colliery 3-0 winners against Penrith in the Northern League. In the National League, Barrow still without a point this season, back-to-back defeats to open their new campaign, a 2-1 defeat at Holker Street against Hornchurch. Let's return you back down there now, get some reaction from the Bluebirds manager Adam Murray, who's with Adam Johnson.
Yeah, thanks Paul. Welcome back here to Holker Street. I do have the Barrow manager Adam Murray with me right now. I'll just give him a chance to get his microphone set up because he has just and so walked into the press box. I've just knocked my own microphone off, but never mind. Adam, no doubt a frustrated figure after that one today.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of emotion at the minute, so I'll be careful in what I say, but I think it was a game that, again, similar to last week, I've seen some scary things, if I'm being honest with you, some things that I haven't seen since I've been here, in terms of the certain individuals, I think the club as a whole, and there's a lot of work to do. I was under no illusion that when I came in there was a lot of work to do, but there's things in there that have to change. There's a horrible soft underbelly to the place, and that has to be removed.
You certainly sense that with the second half going forward. I mean, the first half, we'll look at that first. I mean, the goal that was ruled out, which did look very, very close from the view that we saw of it, but even then, there was chances there, wasn't there, in the first half?
Look, they've had one chance, so I think in terms of when you look at the first half, we've probably had close to 70% possession. And look, I know that for sure, that don't win you football games, and that's part of my frustration. Is we knew what the opposition was going to bring, we knew what they're good at, we knew they'd be a block, we knew they'd be a low block and be waiting for us to make a mistake. But I just didn't see. Look, we've put over 30 crosses in the box today, but again, not with any quality. And I think my thing is there's not with everybody, but with certain people in the building. There's a lack of belief, there's a little bit of lack of confidence. It's like they're waiting for the mistake, instead of being positive and making things happen and coming out the shell, and being brave. And I can't stand to watch that. I've got to be honest with you. I feel for the supporters because, again, that energy, the kid scored from however far it is, like he'll probably never hit one of them goals again in his life, but then the whole place rocked, and you felt the energy change, and that can't happen, otherwise it's going to be a really long season. We understand, I understand that there's so much that needs to be done here. We've ripped part of it up, but from top to bottom it needs smashing, because there's a mindset in here that is not good. There's a fear in here, and it has to go. People need to stay in the lanes and do what it says on the tin, and that's my biggest concern today. I can talk about football all day, but there's issues in there. There's not enough fire in the place. There's not enough desire. People, look, I'll be honest with you. We've got a healthy budget for the league, but a massive part of that is taken up by people that aren't good enough, or don't have a desire to want to achieve, and then what that does, then it puts you in a massive group of teams that are on the same playing field, and that's where we are at the minute. So this will take time because we still need more change. We're nowhere near where we need to be. I've been here before in this situation, especially in my last two jobs, where you've had so much change. So I understand the process, but it don't make it any easier. But there's a lot of frustration in there today because I'm looking at that game. Even when we get the goal at 2-1, I'm thinking we go for the jugular here, but backwards square. It's safe. It's so safe because people don't want to make mistakes because they're carrying fear, and that can't happen in my team. And I do think some of it is a carry on from where it left off last season.
It's no doubt going to be the bigger frustration for you because, I mean, over the course of pre-season, and I know it's pre-season, but it looked as though things like that had been eradicated. You were coming into games at home, and I know when we spoke after the first home friendly that you had that little bit of worry of the fear of playing at Holker Street, so to speak, still weighing on them. But that seemed to go over the 2 home games that you had on the back of that. What do you think has changed from there on to here?
I don't think it's changed totally. I think there's a big part of the group in there that are not that don't carry that. I think we've proven how good we can be, so I know it's there. I think the thing that you don't get to see in pre-season is when real pressure comes on, and you see the true colours of certain people, and it's not everybody, but there's still a part of the place that is in hiding, and when you get to the situation where 3 points are on the line, people go into hiding, and I've seen a lot of that today, and I didn't like it. It's the first time I've seen it, especially at this place, and it can't happen because we failed with all the ball we had to create. And look, it's not. I'm not going to make excuses. It's not easy when you've got 11 men literally on the edge of the 18-yard box, but we've got good players. On paper, I said to the boys yesterday, I said it to this morning, like on paper we've got some big names that have played a lot of Football League games. We've got some real quality in here, but it means nothing because you're coming into a league where some of them are getting caught out because it's ruthless. I look at them and I go, they're just hunger and desire. Have we got better players on paper? Yeah, but paper means nothing. And for me, we're not, last week, this week, we're not, when it gets tough with certain people, I see them go missing because they don't want to make a mistake. They go into protective mode, and what that takes away, then it takes away the bravery, it takes away the creation, and you don't get to see the true qualities of the individuals because we've got some really good individuals in there, but I'm not seeing it at the minute. But in the bigger picture, and it's hard now because we're all emotional and we're all frustrated, but there'll be a lot learnt from these couple of weeks. Look, it feels like we're 6 months in, but it is only 2 games, and there's a lot to do here. But we will end up where we need to be.
How do you go about changing that mindset? Because there will be a lot of the reaction from the supporters after the game. You know, that hangover effect certainly is spilt onto the crowd when you see when you see obviously the way the game panned out today. How do you change that?
Well, that's part of I can't do it on my own. And I've just said to the players in there, like, if you're in this and you want to stay in this, you've got to play your part. Because look, we've lost 1 game at home, but the feeling after the game was that we'd lost 10 at home, and everybody, it's easy for that atmosphere to creep it all around the club. It comes from the terraces, then it gets in the changing room, it turns into fear, it turns into lack of bravery, and if we're not careful as a football club, that you stay in the same cycle. And what we need now is we need people with the right mentality. We need people that are willing to step forward and be brave. We need people that are willing to showcase what talent they've got, because we've got a lot of good players. We do need more in the final third. But it's only we can do it. If I've just said to the boys there, like I see too many victims. I see too many people that are feeling sorry for themselves and don't want to look in the mirror, and it's your fault and you don't want to take responsibility. And I don't know, but I imagine that's what it looked like last season with certain individuals, and it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Look, there's a reason why the place has had so many managers. Every single manager can't be wrong. Let's be honest. Every manager can't have got it wrong. So there's something in there that I've got to break. And look, I'm willing to smash it. I'm not here to make friends, but I need people that are going to be on the same page and that are willing to change this football club around, because I felt frustrated for the fans today, because at the minute they're in default mode, that as soon as things aren't going well, they aren't going to plan, they default to the emotion that they've been stuck in for a long time, and it's up to us to break that, because I've seen in moments that when we do stand up and we be brave and we represent the football club as we should, and we bring the characteristics that this football club demands, they'll get right behind us. So I felt for them today, because there was certain things on there, the bravery, the purpose, the willingness to try and make something happen, even if it didn't, the willingness to try and make it happen. I look at Thierry when he comes on, I look at Isaac when he comes on, they want to make something happen. Like we get a grip in that final 20 minutes when they come on, because they're willing to try and make something happen. They're not passive, they're not being safe, they're not scared to make mistakes, they're willing to step out of the comfort zone and make things happen. And again, we can talk a lot about the football bit, and when I look back, we've had some good chances there today. We've missed a couple in the first time we have to finish. We've had balls dropping in the box there for some reason. We think we can take a touch in the 6-yard box, and we've got 4 hours to bring it down. Like, there's a ruthless mentality missing that we've got to install, and that comes with time and it comes with work, but it also comes with some hard decisions and some tough conversations which we need to have.
I know you've already made comment about the factor of wanting to move some on, and obviously you have said about wanting to bring more into the club. Is it a case now where that is needed more than ever now, do you think? And how do you go about doing that, as you say, when you've got players that clearly don't want to move on or haven't got the interest in it?
It's tough. It's that's the biggest challenge at this football club at the minute. There's a lot of players that are on good money. Why would you move? That's the question, and I've got a lot of players in there, because I'm not speaking about everybody here. I've got a lot of players in there that I've laid the gauntlet down to them, step up, and we'll see if they will step up. Some of them have had a lot of chances and not stepped up, but this is part of the process of the reset we need to have as a football club. Like, this is last season wasn't just a relegation, it was a shambles. And we've got to reset everything, and that just don't happen in a pre-season and 2 games of the football season. This is time, but what we have to do is we have to grab the people that want to come with us. We have to grab the people that are willing to fight and build with them, and then on the way there'll be casualties, but look, it ain't going to be easy, and it's going to be a long old journey. But if we've got the right vision and we've got the right purpose, and we've got the right mindset, and we stick together when we don't get what we want and it's tough, then we'll come out the other side of it. I've got no doubts about that, because the proof's in the pudding with the people that I've brought with me in terms of staff, players. We've been successful over the last few years, we've won, and we need that mentality in this building as quick as possible.
Alex Reid obviously missing today. I know you said in the lead up to today that he picked up the knock. How will he look now, looking ahead, going into next week's game now against Harrogate?
Touch and go. He had a scan this Wednesday, I think it was, and didn't come back great, so it's obviously a big loss for us. He's a player proven at scoring goals, gives us a different dynamic up there, so he's a loss for us. And the option we were going for, that we spoke about the last couple of weeks, has gone to the Football League this week, so we wasted time and missed out on that one, which is a disappointment, but look, it is what it is at the minute. What I won't do is I won't allow that, from my perspective, that victim mentality to seep in. It's about we get back to work Monday morning and we put it right, and it's going to take some long hours, it's going to be some long days, there's going to be a lot of grind going on, there's going to be some upset people, but we're here to win, and we will win, and we'll get it to where we need to be. And this is part of the challenge. I knew this was going to be part of the process and the challenge. Don't make it any easier.
On the subject, I mean the final one, this one for you, Adam, on the subject of, as you said, the player that you missed out on, you said on Wednesday that there were, a couple more in the fire if that one was to drop out. Will you be pursuing on those 2 extra?
I'm pursuing a lot, to be honest with you, but again, like we've just said, it's what we can do, and when we can do it, it's sliding doors, isn't it? So we'll just have to see how it pans out and how things go about this week. But most importantly for me now, it's about me picking a group of people that are willing to take this football club forward, and that not just with words and nodding dogs. I need action, because I've seen. Look, I'm not saying anything here that I haven't said to the group. You know I'm an honest guy. The players know. I speak from my heart, and I say it as it is, and you take it or you leave it. But I've seen too many nodding dogs in the last couple of weeks. People, it's great, can talk a great game, can say the right things, but it's out there where you get judged, and some of them had a lot of chances now. So we push on, we move forward, and we look forward to next week to try and put this right now.
Commiserations, Adam.
Cheers, mate.
Adam Murray, Barrow manager, speaking to Adam Johnson at Holker Street back there shortly to get through your Bluebirds reaction. Keep your comments coming in. We're going to hear from Rob Elliott, the Carlisle United head coach, very shortly. He's just finished speaking to James as we were hearing from Adam Murray there. Before we do, let's hear some of Billy Barr's views on that 2-2 draw against Guiseley. First point on the board for the Reds this season. NPL Premier, who's been speaking to Jordan Weir.
Billy, I've just said in the roundup there, first question I'll be asking you whether it was a point won or 2 points lost. You've come back from 2-0 down. How do you see that?
I suppose in the end it's a point gained, because at half time we were out of the game. We weren't very good in the first half. We kept giving the ball away again. It's become a problem. We can only put 45 minutes together. So spoke to them at half time, didn't go mad. Just reminded, try and keep it calm. They answer everything at half time the way you want it answered anyway. And then our last thing was, right, you've said everything we want to hear. Now just go and implement it. That's the only thing that everyone in the ground wants you to do. Go and put what you've just said into practice. And we did. And from kick-off, we were far better. Absolutely.
You've just spoken off air there before we've started this. You said it was a true tale of two halves, and there wasn't really anything for it to be. There was no wind, there's no change in weather conditions. What can you put it down to? And obviously you've spoke about your frustration about the performances so far and the lack of a 90-minute performance, but it was there again for yourself this afternoon.
It was us. We didn't turn up first half, we turned up second half. So that's there's no big wind, there's nothing like that, and we can't keep saying it because we'll give ourselves a mountain to climb like we did last year. And it's done, it's in the bag. We move on now to Wednesday night. Hopefully everybody comes through unscathed, and then we pick a squad to go down to Barrow.
You mentioned there about what you said at half time. Was it fairly similar to what you've said in the other two games? You know what to do. Why aren't you doing it? Is it them sort of questions that you're asking of your squad when you're in the sheds at half time?
To a degree, I doubted our ability to run first half, to match Guiseley, running towards our goal and then running back towards their own goal. And if you don't do that, then you don't win football matches. And thankfully, there was a pivotal moment in the first half when Dougie saved one on the goal line. He's gone head to head with someone with a ball that's bouncing, and if he doesn't do that and it goes 3, we're dead and buried. So that's a pivotal moment for me. And let's say second half, we turned up and we competed. When we competed the way we competed last season towards the end in February and March, and got the point from the game. Could have been 3 with the penalty. I don't watch penalties, so I can't tell you what happened at the moment. But I'm pleased for them that we didn't go under, and I'm pleased for our fans who could have gone under in the first half, but didn't. Stayed strong, and like I say, we've got fantastic fans, and they help get us back into the game and get the point from the game.